TV, Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
It's the area, back onto his left foot, Raul Jimenez! Raul Jimenez gives Wolves the lead! Neves brings it down on the body! Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal! Calls it all! That's unbelievable! Martinho has whipped it into the far top corner. Can you believe this?
Matchday Live on Wolves TV, powered by Blythe Group. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
A very good evening and welcome to the home of football. This is Molineux. This is Matchday Live Extra from Wolves TV, bringing you right up to speed with everything that is going on this evening. We will have full, live, uninterrupted commentary for you from myself, Mikey Burrows, and the Hall of Famer, Andy Thompson. And we'll get expert punditry from home from Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme. Plus, before kickoff, a host of guests will join us, including from America, Jack Price and Neil Emblem. We'll also be talking to the former Wolves first team coach and former Wolves under-23s coach, Rob Edwards, to join us before kickoff. And we'll speak to a man who played for both of these sides. Tomo's former teammate, Jeff Thomas, will be with us as well. Big team news, by the way, from here at Molineux is one change from the side that started Sunday's 1-1 draw with Newcastle, and that is Ryan Ait-Nouri coming in for his Wolves debut on the left-hand side in the left wing-back position, with Romain Saiz dropping to the substitutes bench. We will talk about that and plenty more between now and kickoff. So, Iwelumo is with us. Carl Ikeme will join us very soon. But Andy Thompson, I will come to you first and foremost. A frustrating way that it finished on Sunday. But I think overall the 90 minutes, I think we all agreed that they showed enough in that game that if they can just sort out a wall, they can go on and win these matches.
Yeah, I've looked at it time and time again over the week, and I still can't believe that the wall was set up the way it was. It left him a big gap to actually score the equaliser. But Wolves, without a doubt, say dominated the game. They deserved to win it. But that's what you've got to do. You've got to kill teams off. You've got to take your chances. And if you don't, that's what happens. You can always lose a goal, as they did at the weekend. But look, so it was a better performance. Still would like us to be a little bit more clinical in front of goal. So that's one of the biggest things that we need to do. Be a little bit more ruthless in that top third. But it was promising to see the way that we kept the ball and kept possession. But that's what we're disappointed they didn't get the 3 points.
All the more reason, Iwelumo, to make sure that you have more than a one-goal lead in a tight game like that towards the end.
No, well, yes, definitely, and of course. But once you score, you don't need to score again to win. You just don't concede. And I agree with what Tom was saying there. We've seen a lot of the ball, a lot of possession. But we really have a problem trying to break down a low block. You know, when a team come and they sit and they play counter-attack football. And the difference tonight is Crystal Palace is one of the best at doing that. They've got complete pace going up front. You know, they've got, I think you look at Zaha, he's got 5 and 6 at the minute. He's an out-and-out threat. You know, but we have a real problem. Even though we've got a lot of the ball, I wouldn't say that we were very creative against Newcastle. We got the goal. Jimenez, a bit of absolute brilliance. Fantastic finish. We've seen a lot of the ball. Yeah, players, we can spread it wide. But did we create a lot? Clear-cut chances in the box. And I don't think we ticked that box. I think Nuno will be a little bit conscious, a little bit kind of worried about that. But again, it's one of them. How do you set up? Because Wolves, we are one of the best at playing counter-attack football. We can sit in. We've got pace going down flanks. We can go from back to front with great quality. So we're up against a team that so what do you do? Do you sit in even though you're at home and say, right, come on, Palace, come at us and we'll pick you off? Because to be fair, that plays into your favour, Mikey.
Well, we will get into that in more detail and we'll get Carl Ikeme an opportunity to chip in on that in just a second. But we need to welcome our first guest to Matchday Live Extra tonight, a man who served both of these football clubs with distinction. Maybe didn't play as many games as he wanted to in his Wolves career, though. You know, he had to play alongside Tomo for a lot of it. So
he don't play that many games, but
we can understand it. A big welcome to Matchday Live Extra, Jeff Thomas. How are you?
Yeah, very good, Mikey. How are you?
Very well, my friend. Very well. I was just kind of reminiscing with Tomo. I don't know whether reminiscing is the right word, Tomo, about the 97 playoff between these two teams. It still torments many fans. Does it still torment you too?
It does a little bit. So look, because I think we finished third that season as well. So we was going into the game a bit confident to Crystal Palace. We knew it was going to be a difficult game, but like to come away from there defeated 3-1, I think it was sore. So look, it left us a big task coming back to the Molineux.
Yeah, we played okay down there. I think we were one each. With not long to go, and Dougie Freeman came on and scored 2 decent goals, and obviously give them the advantage. But Molineux was buzzing on the second game, and we scored a goal pretty early on, Mark Atkins, and it was all set up for a great game. But unfortunately, we just fell short.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Because I say, for fans, Jeff, it will always last in there as being that kind of chance where if you'd have got up at that time with Sir Jack being in the mood that he was, who knows what that side could have gone on to achieve.
Well, to be honest, 3 years before that, when I joined Wolves, we were just that far away from getting into the Premier League with the team that we had then. And it was just, I don't know what was wrong with the club at the time. We just had injury after injury to key players, and it just kept on stalling what was, was really should have been a fantastic time in the Wolves era. But it's frustrating. I'm sure everybody who was a part of it back then is equally frustrated with not actually being a part of the team that got him into the Premiership.
Yeah, so like I was just saying there, Jeff, so like yourself getting injured, Steve Froggatt, Tony Daly, so these people come in and they were going to be the spearhead, hopefully, to get us up to the Premier League, but it just wasn't to be, was it, with the injuries that we had?
No, and your performances every week in, week out, just
They do, mate.
I love that. Love that. That's worth getting Jeff on for that just alone.
Get him off quick.
You obviously had a long, distinguished spell at Crystal Palace as well, Jeff. I mean, we're in this funny position where, and Wolves fans just as well as the rest of us do, that there is expectation there. What's it like down at Palace? Because in theory, they're having their best start to a top flight season since the early 90s when you were around. But both sets of fans are probably still not as happy as they maybe could be.
Yeah, and the Palace fans in particular are just not happy with the way they set up for, especially home games. I think they probably approach home games similar to away games, where they sort of sit back and let teams attack and then try and hit them on the break. And it works great away from home. But at home, it becomes a bit of a stalemate situation and becomes a very dour games. And I think that's what the fans would like to see, a bit more flair, because they've got the players. I don't know why they don't open up a little bit at home, but the game is more suited to play away.
Yeah, Jeff, as an ex-player then, and obviously as a fan, what is priority? Because I hear this all the time about the brand of football a team play, but it's a result business, isn't it? So
sure.
if that's the kind of layout and it's getting the result, then we can't really have complaints. But what about what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I've met Roy Hodgson a number of times when he was at West Brom and when he's at Crystal Palace, and he's not changed. I think he works with a group of players and looks at their abilities and what they're good at, and he sets a team up to keep them in the league in particular. And that's what, I think every chairman that employs Roy Hodgson is looking to have somebody of experience who's going to do that. And he's done that year on, year out. And I think where it's frustrating for the supporters is that there always seems to be that little step away from going into the top 6. And I think that's where everybody wants to be, in that top 6. And I think not everybody can. And I think realistically, I think Palace are doing fantastic at the moment, and probably will end up being mid-table. In all honesty, I think they're doing a lot better than what probably the teams that are around them, the money that teams are paying out for the players at the moment. They're not in that league, and they're doing ever so well to be where they're at the moment.
Jeff, I'm not going to try and make you make a prediction, because I know that you do have part of your heart to both clubs. But before we do let you go, we should mention, of course, that you do so much work with Cure Leukemia, and there's been a big link up with the Tour de France, I see, in the last couple of days. Yeah,
it's been fantastic news. I mean, any good cause has had such a dire year for the obvious reasons, but over the years, the bike has been a big part of fundraising and bringing people together, and the Tour de France has recognised that and give us a 3-year partnership. So it opens, obviously, the name Cure Leukemia up to Europe and around the world, because it's such an iconic brand that we need to make the most of that now.
Well, listen, we wish you the very best of it. I know you do brilliant work for them. Thank you very much for your time tonight. Great to see you.
Anytime. Oh, Chris, before I go, I've got somebody in the house here. Harry White.
Oh, is he here?
Chester. He's here. He's a partner of my daughter, my youngest daughter. And
what a man. Absolute gentleman. Absolute gentleman.
He is a gent. That's why he's still in the house. he wants to send you his best wishes. But also,
pass my regards on. Thank you, Jeff.
He's asked has your table tennis improved?
Oh, he wasn't a match for me at table tennis, so that's a little white lie there, mate. So, yeah, pass that one on to him.
Okay.
Iwelumo is competitive at anything, I'm sure. Jeff, thank you very much indeed. Great
nice
to see you,
pal.
Look after
and you,
yourself.
Tomo.
Take it easy, Jeff.
Cheers, Mikey.
Jeff
See you
Thompson
soon.
on a Matchday Live Extra tonight. Hello, Carl Ikeme, by the way. Been waiting very patiently down there in your kids' playroom tonight, which is a lovely change of scenery.
That's definitely class. Mate, let me get a picture of that, Keems. Cheers.
Have a good one, mate. Way there, mate. Got epic here, mate. I'll have a Snow White dress on by the end of this, mate.
Yeah, brilliant.
We were talking just before Jeff came on, Keems, about this kind of potential for attack versus defence, really. And I know that I sent you guys out a stat pack earlier that said that, Palace this season are averaging about 32% possession, whereas Wolves, when they have a lot of the ball, we saw it against West Ham, we saw it on Sunday, don't necessarily enjoy that and have only won 1 of 11 under Nuno in that situation. So what do they need to do differently tonight to take advantage of having all the ball?
I think Chris just touched on it as I tuned in. I think we need to create more chances. I think we can sort of talk tactically that they need to go through the lines, do this, do that. They need to create more chances with the possession. The possession's good. I think in Newcastle we didn't have loads of opportunities, but it helps you control the game. I know we're disappointed with the result, but if you look at the actual performance, we controlled the game for large periods, if not most of the game. And I think we'd rather be in possession than out of it. But I think we just need to create more chances. We need Jimenez between them sticks and not having to come out wide to get into the game. I think you can kind of see from the lineup, we need a bit more pace down the sides. We need a bit more running down the sides. Not that Sace has done anything wrong. I just felt that we need more going forward, just to create more space for the likes of Jimenez, Neto, Podence to start creating more chances for us. I think that was the problem in the last game, and we done a job on Leeds. I was quite happy with the performance. In all honesty, I knew it was a tough game, but I think against Newcastle, we just didn't open up enough to create chances, and I think we kind of seen it second half, that we opened up a little bit more and created a little bit more. But I think the sort of, as you can see from the team lineups, I think they're expecting to try and get forward down the flanks a lot more.
You mentioned Leeds, of course. It was an incredibly impressive performance by a certain Max Kilman in that. In fact, in the last 3, our next guest knows Max incredibly well, having coached him and helped bring him through in the academy setup. We can say a big hello to the former under-23s coach, former first-team coach, former central defender, and all sorts of titles we could give to you. Welcome to Matchday Live Extra again, Rob Edwards. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Mikey. Hi, guys. You okay?
How you doing, Rob?
Oh, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Amazing. Beautiful as ever. He's beautiful as ever.
He's a very handsome man. Very handsome man.
Rob, I'm just going to jump straight in because I don't know if you were listening to what Mikey was saying there, right? So Wolves, in the 11 games where they've had more possession, we've only won one. You know, and it's like when teams come and they set up, and there's a lot of respect given to Wolves now that are forcing in the Premier League. West Ham shut up shop, played counter-attack football. Crystal Palace are probably one of the better teams at doing that. We have a real problem in breaking teams like that down, but that's the way that we like to play as well. You know, I think we like to sit in and we like to counter-attack and pick teams off. But when we're dominant and we've got a lot of the ball, we're not creating as much, and we're not as dominant as in the attacking third. Now, I love the way that when you were in the hot seat, it was infectious, and you allowed the players to go out and solve a problem. How do we solve that problem?
It's a difficult one, Luz, because I think you're right. I think if you go back to the Championship year and Nuno's first year, and I think we'd all agree that they were dominating most of the games then, but obviously then moving to a higher quality of opposition, I think they've had to find a way and play a little bit differently. I think then obviously the shift to 3-5-2, and that certainly was a more counter-attacking game that they had to play. Maybe that's why it looks like maybe 3-4-3 again tonight. Maybe they think, right, we've got to have a little bit more people who can operate in those pockets. Palace are going to maybe sit behind the ball a little bit more. We have to be a little bit cleverer in what we do and how we play. So they won't change. You know that about them now. They're not going to change in what we do. We keep believing in what we do and do it better. But it might just be, I think it's personnel change, and they'll look at what fits for the opposition for this game. I think it's certainly they're going to have to look at, right, who can operate in those pockets, who can find the spaces, because Palace are certainly not going to give many spaces away, are they? It's going to be anywhere. It might be on the outsides. It might be tiny little areas in between the units. But that's what's going to be key. But it'll be individuals. It won't be a shift in direction of changing how we play.
Well, you mentioned personnel though, Rob, because this is why we wanted to talk to you about Max Kilman, because talking to Julian Lescott at the weekend, he was talking about the fact that Max clearly has the ability to play, to bring the ball forward and get involved in it. You know him better than pretty much anybody. Are you at all surprised at the way he's suddenly this year just slotted in and looks as if he's played 50, 100 games rather than 15?
I think it's credit to him, and it's credit to the staff as well, because they took Max under their wing quite early on in his first year, and he's been training now with the first team for quite a while. Nuno and the guys obviously feel that he's ready. What's this now? His fourth start in a row, I think, now tonight, and he's clearly done really, really well. Max is quite an unflappable character. He takes it all in stride. He's a lovely lad. He's very calm. I'm not surprised when it comes down to his talent and his attitude. I think he ticks those boxes. The one question mark that we might have had over him, especially operating at Premier League level, might have been the athleticism. But I think in the way that Wolves play as well, with having the three at the back and the numbers, and they're always really compact as well, that nullifies any sort of exposure that he might get against him, you know. So I think he suits the way that they play. He certainly is comfortable on the ball, like you said, Mikey. He suits them when they are going to sort of step out, and then you can build through him and give good balance with his left foot as well. So I'm really pleased to see him doing well. He's got to keep it going. You know, what's his 4 games in a row now. So it's early days. I know what it was like for me as a young player. I came in and out a few times, especially as a young defender. So they'll time it right. He might have to come out again at some stage, but hopefully he keeps on improving. He's got the attitude to do it. This
is the thing though, isn't it? You mentioned the attitude, because the longer you stay in, you kind of, I guess, do you become settled as a young defender? Are you ever settled in a team where you've got competition in a squad like this?
No, you've got to be on your toes. In a top half of the Premier League team, you're going to expect to have a lot of competition around you, and you're going to have to be at your best every single day. He can't let any standards drop now. He hasn't earned the right, maybe like a Raul or someone like that, who maybe can drop his level for a couple of games he's going to play because he's the man. That's not the case for Max. He's just got to keep his levels really, really high, keep his focus, his concentration, and he can be a very, very good player. I really believe in that, because he does have a lot of good attributes. He's someone that wants to defend as well, which is important. He's someone that we think, you know, in 1v1s, he could have been. He was a little bit up and down in the 23s at first. He might dive in a little bit, but I've been so impressed in the games that I've watched on the TV where he's been a lot more patient. He's defended the box really well as well. So lots of stuff. And again, like I said, that's credit to the staff because they've worked on little areas that he did need to improve on. And at the moment, he's showing a lot of quality.
Yes, Carl Ikeme, it's a new kind of partnership though with Aït-Nouri and then Kilman there. Do you see that being an issue, or despite the fact they're both young, they're clearly both good footballers, and will that just get them through?
I think it'd be interesting today. It would bring out another element in Max to see how confident he is to tell him where he needs to be. But you have got Codes and Bali next year and Rui behind him, so he's still got experience around him. But it's another challenge for him because he's going to have to take control now. I'm sure Saiss was helping Max out in the games before and helping him be positionally and telling him where to be at certain times, telling him where the ball should be played. But now it's up to Max to tell the newcomer now where he should be, where he wants him, what sort of angles he wants him to give him on the ball. So it's just another learning curve in Max's journey. And like we said, we've all been impressed with him. I can't think highly enough of him over the last four games. So I was interested to see what Rob thinks longer term for him. Where can he actually go? But it's just another learning curve from today to use his voice, be dominant, and dictate to his left-sided player.
Yeah, I agree, Carl. I think the sky is the limit for him, really. You know, I think especially in the way that Wolves play. But it's really early days, and I don't think we can get carried away at the moment either, because I think we've all seen young players when they've come in and it's 3 or 4 games. Then, like I said before, maybe there's a time then to come back out. I'm not saying that's the case at all, but especially with young goalkeepers, young defenders, I think that's the case quite often, isn't it?
Yeah, so, I think that more I was asking is he got what it takes to become a regular eventually? We know it, like you said, he might have to come in and out for now, like and that. But has he got what it takes to become a Wolves regular and sort of fill that spot? Maybe it might be a year, might be 2 years down the line.
I hope so. I think when you talk about quality, so technical quality, yes, he ticks the box. The attitude and the wanting, the desire to try and improve and learn, he ticks that box as well. He's been working really, really hard in the gym and on fast feet and trying to speed that turn of hips up as well, so things that are really, really important in the modern day game. So if he can keep working on those things as well, then he ticks all the boxes, Carl. Mm-hmm. So I don't see why not. And I just think, what you talk about there with communication as well, he's got the best talker in world football next to him still at the moment. So, Max is still quite quiet. So I don't see him talking to the young kid very much, but I think Codes will do all his talking for him anyway, won't he? So they won't worry from that point of view.
Rob, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us on Matchday Live Extra tonight. And good luck with all the work you're doing at the FA at the minute.
Pleasure, Mikey. Great to see you all, lads.
And you, Rob. Take it easy, mate.
Okay.
Rob Edwards on Matchday Live Extra. It was a tough call, wasn't it, between, I guess, Max Kilman and Romain Saiss. As Keems mentioned earlier, Saiss has been doing pretty well and has done a job for the team at left wing back. So that choice for Nuno tonight must have been a tough one.
Yeah, it would have been a tough one. I could say he's putting some good performances, but Keems touched on it last week where he said that he probably wants somebody a little bit more established at that position who can give us a little bit more of an attack down that left-hand side. And it looks like he's done that by bringing the lad in. So, they've got to go out there. They've got to perform against them. They've got to make sure that they're putting a poor performance. But more to the point, I would just like us to see us get a little bit more of a gamble in front of goal, take that risk going forward. Because we've done really well in possession against Newcastle. Second half against Leeds, we did well. But for me, we've still got to try and get some bodies forward, and hopefully Nuri's going to do that.
It was very interesting what Rob said about personnel. If you look at all three of us, Tomo, Carl was hammering home Pedence as a must. I think Rob had Neto's case because he was excellent the other day. He was fantastic. And then I'm sitting saying Traore should come in. These are 3 players that can find the pocket, that personnel that can get on the ball. They're all very direct, and I think that's those 3 players. Well, they're all going to play a part. You know what I mean? That's the thing. They've all got something to give tonight. But that's the key for us, I believe. I think that's the personnel that can open this game up.
You mentioned Pedro Neto. There's a lovely feature with him in the Matchday programme, which of course is a double. So it was for both the Newcastle game and the Crystal Palace game. You can go and check that out. Of course, get your copy via wolves.co.uk and check out the Wolves Megastore as well. There was a number of guys in the press room or the press box earlier who were saying how good it is that Wolves are still producing programmes, and you can get your hands on one from wolves.co.uk for the details. Right, I think we've got some extra special guests. We are crossing the pond to the United States of America for not one, but two. Because a couple of months ago, when Wolves took on Crystal Palace, we got two men together who spend an awful lot of time together, so much so that we've made sure they're separated just for tonight. But it was so lucky last time that we had to get Jack Price and Neil Emblem back on Matchday Live Extra. How are you guys? How are you doing?
Yeah, all good, Mikey. Yeah, all good. Thanks for having us on, mate. Again, appreciate that.
Tell you what,
yeah,
Jack,
fine, thank you.
Well, still in it.
Oh, mate, it's thick now, isn't it?
Tell you what, Mike stood up before. He was loving it now.
How are you? You two, you good?
Yeah, good.
It's just so thick, your beard. It's majestic.
I don't know why it's so thick, mate. Look at it.
Should we just spend the next 15 minutes talking about his beard? Lovely pricing.
How are you, lad?
This for weeks, mate. There's nothing goes. I'm just envious.
You know, I could spend all that time talking about his beard. But how are you guys getting on over in Colorado? Last time we spoke to you, you were involved in this kind of weird mini tournament down in Florida. How's the season been?
Yeah, I mean, that didn't go too well in Orlando, to be fair, mate. We didn't do very well. We were home pretty soon, but we picked up recently. So we're still in the playoffs as it stands. They're doing a points per game system now because we missed 4 weeks of the season. About 2 weeks ago, we had to miss because of the virus. So playing a bit of catch up, but they've changed the standings. So we're in the playoffs as it stands, and hopefully 3 games to go, we can kick on and cement our place in there.
Neil, what's it like over there working in what is kind of very unique conditions? Obviously, people see this. We'd love to have supporters here. What's it been like working over in America?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar situation. Obviously, no fans at a lot of the games. There's been a few fans in different states, probably up to about 2,000 people. Dallas, there was fans. Sporting Kansas City the other day, there was fans. So yeah, there's a few in there, but it's pretty much the same as you guys over there. Obviously, we were hit with 16, 17 cases within our club, our staff and players. Yeah, we've been COVID-free in the group now for nearly 2 weeks, and we're just trying to keep it that way, trying to all stay indoors and just be sensible as much as we can so we can get these 3 games played and hopefully make the playoffs.
Because, I mean, anybody who's listened to the episode you and I did, Neil, of your My Golden Game on our new Old Golf Club series knows how kind of important it was for the fans and how you kind of played off the fans and the responses from them. So, I mean, we'll ask Jack in a minute, but can you imagine what it would have been like for you to play in an empty stadium?
It would be tough. It would be tough. It's a lot tougher for the players, but they're obviously they're a great team of pros. Nuno's fantastic manager, and he'll have them. The reasons to win are still there. They still want to do it for the people watching and for the club, and they're a great focused bunch of players. So I see no problems with it, but it is obviously harder for them. So, but worldwide audience today, we're all watching it all over the world, and it's everything to play for.
Neil, just off the back of what Mikey said there, the stats have come out over here, and players are covering less distance. Is that something that you've noticed over there? Is that something that you've looked at a little bit more depth? Because, like you say, the fans do bring that intensity to the player. They get that little edge, don't they? But I was very surprised that at all different levels of football, Scotland, England, that players are getting nowhere near the distances they would usually get to.
Yeah, I mean, our team's a pretty honest bunch. We always have to keep on top of Pricey, but
I'm still covering that distance, mate.
He still likes the centre circle. It's tougher. I mean, it's tougher. There's sometimes when there's a ball there, and I remember it well when I was playing, and you have to grit your teeth and get there, and the fans can make that difference, and in you making that ball and your desire to make that ball. But these, like I've said, I think these guys are all professional enough. They're good enough players to to just focus on the job in hand, and I'm sure that they'll do the job today.
Just to ask another question on that. Do you know when you have 2,000 fans in there, does that make any difference to the games, or is it still just not the same?
No, it's pricey. I mean, you played at Kansas last week.
I mean, it helps. It helps having any fans in there, but it's not the same.
It's still not the same.
20,000 to 2,000. You know, it has that pre-season feel to it.
It's like a reserve game still.
Yeah, you're like, towards the end of the game where you need the fans just to get you going. The last 10 minutes, it's just not there, mate. It's all about having that that desire inside yourself then to kick on. But it is tough.
We had one game where the opposition got a player sent off with 10 minutes to go, and normally at that stage, the fans would have got you over the line, and we didn't manage to score a goal that day in those 10 minutes. And I just think with the fans being in there and the extra player, I just think there would have been that overall, overriding desire to suck that ball towards their goal, and it's just not there. It's tougher, and the lads have to just keep plugging away in their own mindset. So it's definitely more difficult.
Jack, I was just saying there about it as well. So, look, I presume that you've watched the Wolves games. What do you think that they're probably just missing out on a little bit in the start of the season? Look, there's only 6 games gone in. And I'm sure that you've seen some of it. From a coach's point of view, what do you think of it?
I mean, look, they're playing well enough. I thought the away performance in Leeds was perfect away performance. A little bit of luck with the goal, but it was a good, solid away performance. Last weekend, I think that 2 or 3 opportunities early on in the game, which slightly clinical, more, being slightly more clinical, as Nuno spoke about this week. There was chances created though early in that game, and I just think they need to go ahead in a game earlier on. And I think then people like Neto, Podence, will just gain the confidence from a goal or two. But look, I still think the team's playing well. I think it's tough for them. I think there's still obviously lots of players in transition, new players coming into the squad. The couple of players that have been sold as well were big players that have gone on to be playing, in the teams that they've gone to as well. Good players that we'll probably miss a little bit, but generally I still have no fears of the way the team's playing.
Pricey, what have you made of it?
Yeah, I think Neil touched on it there with the likes of Doc and Jota being missed. They've gone on to bigger clubs as supposedly, and I think they're a big loss. I think especially Doc going forward, he was great, and the new boys that have come in, they're going to take time to settle in and get to the rhythm of the Premier League, and it's not easy. So I think they've had a good start. They're still right up there. They've won a few games this year, and I think tonight's a great opportunity to get another 3 points. But like you say, that Jota, Doc, those sort of players that are missing, they were a big part of them the last few years. So it's a tough loss for me.
By the way, what was it like when, I presume, you woke up in America and saw that Connor Cody had scored a goal for England?
Not a chance. Huh? Not a chance. Couldn't believe it. No, I picked him straight away. I was buzzing for him. What a bloke. I just to start for England as well. Like, that's incredible to score and then be captain towards the end of the game. He deserves it. He's a top professional. When I was playing with him, and he does everything right. He's just a top bloke. He's deserved that moment, and I was so proud of him. And God knows what his family was like, but I was proud of him just to have played with him. So it's amazing. And like you say, you see him when he talks about it, he's so happy and so proud of what he's achieved, and so he should be.
You've been captain a fair bit as well. Have you likened yourself as a captain to Connor Cody? Are you making everyone call you Skipper around the place now?
No, I don't know what they call me, to be fair. Ain't no sort of names though, mate. I'll tell you that. But I'm enjoying the role. It's the first time I've been captain, and there's a bit more pressure on you to perform well week in, week out. And I take that on my shoulders, and I try and do my best every week and lead the boys as much as I can. And maybe I'd learn a bit from Codes as a person, as a man, as a family man as well. So no, it's all good so far.
Before we let the boys go,
sorry, the changing room think exactly the same of Pricey as I'm sure the changing room at Wolves do of Connor, so he's making a good impression.
Just before we let you boys go, quick thought on the game tonight. What are you thinking score-wise, Pricey?
2-0 Wolves, then Donker Jimenez from a dream team. Come on, lads.
Neil, I know we've got his dream team sorted.
I actually made a transfer this morning. I bought in Pedro Neto I've got him down for 2 goals. Jimenez 1. Zaha for Palace 3-1 win Wolves.
Brilliant. Boys, stay safe out there. Look after yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you back in the UK very soon.
Cheers, James. Thank you.
Take it easy, fellas.
Take care.
Neil Emblem and Jack Price joining us on Matchday Live Extra. Right, very quickly, let's go round for our predictions. Tomo, you can go first. What are you thinking tonight?
Well, I'm going to bet against Wolves. I'm at 2-1 Wolves.
Keems?
Oh, I'm not playing anymore. Because I know what you're going to say. You're just going to say 1-0 and blah, blah, blah. 1-0 Wolves. I'm going 1-0 Wolves.
Okay, you're going 1-0 Wolves?
Yeah. Can you do the same?
2-1 Wolves. Same with Tomo.
I will then go for 2-0 Wolves.
Oh, my God.
Careful. He nearly fell off his chair here now.
Oh, no way. Was you going to go 1-0?
I mean, if you didn't 1-0, then I would have done 1-0. But seeing as you've taken it, for the benefit of the game, I will go for 2-0. And if it is 2-0, you boys will never hear the end of it towards the end of it.
You know what, Mikey? Win gracefully, mate. It just means that you've not won at a lot of things in life, pal. If the way you're acting just now, pal.
We've got to fade him out. Sorry, we've got to fade him out again for the second week running. Boys, thank you very much indeed. More from Chris Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme to come here on Wolves TV's Matchday Live Extra. Don't go anywhere because kickoff is coming very, very soon.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV, powered by Blight Group. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app. Wolves TV, Matchday Live, powered by Blight Group.
This season, the Old Goal Club and Wolves TV Matchday Live are powered by Blythe Group, an industry-leading construction company and family-run business since 1982, driving investment and infrastructure across the UK. Blythe Group's mission is to provide an unrivaled service based on innovative, bespoke building solutions and comprehensive customer support. If you're a skilled tradesperson and you want to join the team that powers our team, contact their bases in Wolverhampton, Manchester or Maidenhead via theblythegroup.co.uk. Blythe Group, big enough to deliver, small enough to care. The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molineux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those 2 games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from League One, and even more so when after having a tough first 4 or 5 months that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, powered by Blythe Group, available now.
Wolves TV Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
It is at this time of year that we pay our deepest respects to those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in service of our country. The remembrance fortnight that tends to take place begins this evening at Molineux. We heard the strains of the bugle being played out as the teams walked out. We will try and bring you a shot of it as it's taking place down in the bottom of the North Bank, where so many supporters would wish to be. Wolves' best start to a top flight season since 1979. Already 6 points better off than the same stage last campaign. Nuno's side could go joint top with a win over a Palace team who are themselves enjoying their best start for 30 years. No side has spent more time leading this season than Palace, which is remarkable, really, given they've had the fewest shots and averaged just 32% possession. 5 of the 9 goals they've conceded, though, have been in the last 15 minutes, which is just as well. Wolves haven't scored a first half goal in 58 of 82 Premier League games since promotion. So settle in and get comfortable first half, because the second half could be a storm.
I'm hoping so, but I'm just hoping that we can start really well in this game. See if we can actually score in the first half. Would be nice as well. But yeah, so look, it's a big game, I think, tonight. I think that on the back of the Newcastle game, so Crystal Palace are a good side, so they're going to come here and make it difficult, as we said. They play counter-attacking football with the pace that they've got in their side. But look, so Wolves played pretty well against Newcastle, just without putting away those chances.
The players are going to gather around the centre circle, which has a giant banner across it. I had the Wolves flag and a poppy, and it says Wolves remembers. As I say, down in the bottom of the North Bank, those of you watching on Wolves TV's Matchday Live Extra can see the bugler ready. And we also will pay tribute to the late, great Nobby Stiles, whose death was confirmed today. One of the 1966 World Cup winning team who've been suffering a long illness. Our thoughts and best wishes to his family as well.
Yeah, I was about to say something as well, because he was my coach at West Brom when I was a kid. So sad to hear today the news that he passed away.
Let's just listen in to the sounds here of Molineux.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years decay. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Please be upstanding for the last post and a period of silent reflection.
Remembrance with a difference. It may not quite be the same this year, but the message is always there. And we thank those who have served us and done so much for us, and in many cases paid the ultimate sacrifice for us. In a year when we have lost so many, it is important to remember all those who are sadly no longer with us. Wolves against Crystal Palace then. The Premier League this evening, live on Matchday Live Extra. Wolves going into their pre-match huddle, lining up with Rui Patricio in goal, Willy Bolly, Connor Cody, Max Kilman, the back three, Nelson Semedo, the right wing back, a Wolves debut for Ryan Ait-Nouri on the left wing back position, Ruben Neves, Leander Dendoncker in midfield, Pedro Neto, Daniel Pedence and Raul Jimenez are the three up top. Palace have Vicente Guaita in goal, Nathaniel Klein, Cheku Kuyate, Scott Dan and Patrick Van Arnholt, the back four. Andros Townsend, Jaro Riedewald, Luka Milivojevic and Jeffrey Slupp, Wilfried Zaha and Misi Batshuayi. Their most attacking players. Players have taken a knee and Palace get us underway here at Molineux tonight. Under the lights, one of those occasions with winter drawing in that would normally be such a fervent atmosphere. I know many of you may be tuning into us for the first time tonight, unable to watch on television. We welcome you. We are always here for you. We know it's not quite the same, and we hope that you will be back with us very soon. Palace in blue and red striped shirts, blue shorts and blue socks, kicking from left to right, attacking the Sir Jack Hayward South Bank. Wolves attacking the Stancullis North Bank away to our left. Steve Ballstand on the far side, still with the strength of the Wolf is in the pack banner through the middle of it. And myself and Tomo are sat at the front of the top tier of the Billy Wright stand as Townsend finds Riedewald, back to Townsend towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to feed it into the danger zone. Zaha trying to get a strike away, but just enough pressure put on him and it goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, so again, so you've just seen what Crystal Palace are about, moving the ball from one side to the other, trying to get Zaha in. So one-on-one against Semedo, but he did well against him, just able to force him wide. It's going to be a test for the two fullbacks tonight, I think. Townsend out on this right-hand side as well.
First touch for Ait-Nouri, gets it to Neves, to Pedence, just to the left of the centre circle. Forwards in towards the feet of Neto. Jimenez is out on the right-hand side. Semedo's just run past him as Jimenez looks to drive on himself. Now finding Semedo. Looking backwards to Dendoncker, who under pressure from Zaha has to find Bolly. And now Connor Cody back to Willy Bolly. As ever, you can get in touch and have your say. Let us know where you are tuned into us tonight. Ait-Nouri for Kilman. To Connor Cody. Looking to hit a long diagonal out towards Semedo. Lovely ball from Cody. Semedo trying to drift forwards. Jimenez was in support. Tried to work it through to Neto. Couldn't quite do so. Neves wins it back. Here's Pedence, 25 yards from goal, lifting it into the danger zone towards the run of Jimenez. Cleared back to Pedence, just outside the penalty area. Tries to switch it out towards Semedo. It's a little bit behind him. Semedo would just about keep it in on the right-hand touchline midway in the half, delivering a cross in from deep. Ball dropping down. Oh, and Dendoncker smashes over the top. And the whistle had already gone for Martin Atkinson to give a free kick to Crystal Palace anyway. Rather sparing Leander Dendoncker's blushes there.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? But again, I think it's a great ball for Semedo on that right-hand side. Just putting it in there early. So give them a big problem. So I know he's got the fell there, but Jimenez, I think it was. But yeah, so he probably did stop his blushes there a little bit, Dendoncker. But he's getting in there. We spoke about him getting into the box. We need to get bodies in there, having a bit of a gamble. And it was nice to see that we did have 2 or 3 in there.
Yeah, positive start for Wolves in the opening 3 minutes. As Neves loses out to Wilfried Zaha inside his own half, but Dendoncker was back to help out. Neves now finding Semedo. Semedo holding off Zaha. And over the halfway line, wide for Neto. Plays it infield to Dendoncker. Dendoncker being forced backwards. Palace getting numbers behind the ball. Comes to Cody. He's whipped a lovely ball out to the feet of Semedo. 2 from 2 now for Cody.
Yeah, so look, he's good at that, isn't he? Getting it out there. But I think that's going to be the key, getting it out there early. He's got the space and time.
Oh, now then, crunching challenge between Jeffrey Schlupp and Neto. Both players will get to their feet as Neves plays a nice ball out to the left-hand side for Aït-Nouri. Back to Kilman on halfway. Wide out to the left-hand side to Jimenez, who's pulled outside.
He's coming pretty deep, isn't he, at the minute? I've been watching Jimenez 2 or 3 times now. He's coming a little bit deep. Neto's gone up there. Podence has gone a little bit onto the top line. And we saw a little bit of that the other day against Newcastle, the switching of the front 3.
Cody's just played another pinged perfect pass to Semedo. Deep cross towards Neto, who nods it down.
Oh.
And it's Dendoncker trying to make an use of himself. Neves trying to strike it, blocked by Riedeveld from just inside the penalty area. And the ball rebounded wide of the box, and Vicente Guaita went out there to claim it.
Yeah, I'm just watching that again. So look, good ball in again from Semedo. 2 or 3 efforts there. So already the Savage trying to get a threat on Crystal Palace, put pressure on him. Just didn't break for us, unfortunately. It's a good start.
Yeah, only 5 minutes played at Molineux tonight. And already Wolves have looked pretty dangerous putting the ball into the Palace penalty area.
But I think the key on that is, though, he's put it in early, hasn't he? As soon as he's had that touch, he hasn't got tried to get to the byline. He's just got the touch and put it in there.
Neves for Semedo up towards the halfway line. Now for Pedro Neto. Back into his own half to Willy Bolly. Infield to Connor Cody. Couple of yards outside the D of his own penalty area. And to scoop it high to the left-hand side to Aït-Nouri. Back to Kilman, infield to Cody again.
Yeah, Aït-Nouri says he's just finding his feet at the minute, hasn't he? Another great ball.
Oh, Cody 5 for 5 with spraying passes wide so far tonight. Neves, oh, it's an unbelievable ball by Neves out to Semedo on the right-hand side. Back infield here to Pedro Neto, 30 yards from goal. Neves leaves it to go through to Podence. Podence just inside the area, back onto his right foot, lifting across, headed back goalwards and just wide of the right-hand post by Leander Dendoncker. What a positive start this has been from the man in old gold.
Yeah, so, but I still haven't tested the keeper yet, but so a positive play already again. Just looking at the replay, we've got 3 in the penalty area. If you count Podence, that's 4. And that's something that we've spoken about getting bodies in there to put pressure on them.
It was scrambling, wasn't it, just for a moment?
Yeah, he's unlucky there, Dendoncker.
Dendonker's header bounced wide of the far post. 6.5 minutes played. Wolves 0, Crystal Palace 0.
It has been a lively start, hasn't it? And again, that early ball into the box has been the key there for it again.
They haven't let Palace settle yet. That's been key.
They moved the ball pretty quick, but also as well, it's that delivery and the quality of delivery in the box.
Wolves already dominating the possession stakes.
But you mentioned before, say about Crystal Palace. Was it 38% or 32%, was it, possession?
Jimenez has gone down off the ball here in a clash with Nathaniel Klein. That Martin Atkinson is just saying, I think that VAR will just have a quick check of what's gone on there. Jimenez was down the line waiting for a throw from Aït-Nouri. And Martin Atkinson, you can see him on TV talking and confirmation it's all okay. It's an accidental clash. The throw comes all the way through to Neto. Big foot through it by Kouyaté, giving Batshuayi something to chase. Kilman rather sliced his clearance. It's out of play for a throw. Townsend will leave it for Nathaniel Klein. Klein to Riedeveld. Back to Nathaniel Klein. Second spell at the club. Finds Townsend. Intercepted by Aït-Nouri. Podence backwards to Neves. And Neves with another lovely crossfield ball. He's found his range already.
Yeah, that's been good. It's one of the things that have been promising, hasn't it? Just switching the play.
Neto infield to Neves. Jimenez lets it go all the way through to Podence. Left-hand side of the area on his right foot. Curling one and just tipped over the top of the crossbar. Lovely play again. Worked down the right-hand side, and it was Neves' pass that Jimenez cleverly just stepped away and let it go through to Daniel Podence, and cutting in from the left-hand side on his right foot. We're right behind it. And it was definitely curling towards the top corner, and it needed touch from the keeper to help it on its way.
Yeah, he did. So, like, it was a good save in the end. It just needed a fraction of higher, wasn't it? But a good shot there from him.
Corner's taken short. Podence trying to find Neto. Wasn't the greatest of balls back to him, but Neto got there. Semedo lifting it forwards, headed away by Milivojevic. Neves trying to lift it back deep in the Palace half. Dendoncker giving chase with Kouyaté. Dendoncker wants the throw in, and he's got it.
Oh, I thought he headed it.
I thought he did as well.
I thought he headed it. But it's good closing down. It's good pressure from them.
He appealed first, Dendoncker, so he got it. Here's Aït-Nouri. First time really got to see him in an attacking sense. Tried to beat his man, but Riedewald stuck with him all the way. Podence takes a quick throw. Aït-Nouri back to Daniel Podence. Closed down by Townsend. Another Wolves throw deep inside the Palace half on the Wolves left. Just approaching the 10-minute mark at Molineux.
As I say, all the pressure they've had, you want a goal out of it, don't you? So that's the thing. Be great if you can get that first goal in the first half.
Jimenez's ball back to Aït-Nouri was too powerful. It's a Palace throw instead.
But they definitely put Palace on the back foot, though. Just some of the quick play, the switching of play, but also that early delivery what I spoke about.
Cody with a header forwards from the Palace clearance. Klein back towards halfway. Batshuayi just beaten to it by Kilman. Jimenez does well to recycle the play. Semedo out to the right-hand side to Neto. To cut back infield, has support from Ruben Neves. Wide again for Semedo. Has to go backwards to Neves, who closed down quickly. And Cody, Kilman, wide for Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri's done well here to work himself down the Wolves' left, up against Riedewald, trying to cross. It comes off the Palace man and behind for a corner.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to hit it in and he just delayed it. Had another touch. Aït-Nouri, so look, I think that's been the promising start where we've hit it in early. He had the opportunity, but he's got a corner out of it.
It's Podence who's going to take it. Neto is there with him. Podence right-footed from the left-hand side. It's drawn two Palace defenders out with them. Dendoncker is the deepest man to run. It's taken short to Neto, who whips it in. Oh, Bolly missed it.
Oh.
Comes through to Dendoncker, facing the wrong way, though. Back to Aït-Nouri, who will strike from distance, deflection, and behind for another corner.
Yeah, I'd like to
Willy
see that
Bolly,
again.
just millimetres away from connecting, 8 yards out here?
Just watching it again, the replay. Oh,
I think he does get something on it. It's just he doesn't really get a full connection, and it hits Scott down.
He's got to score there. He's got a free header. He's lost his defender. And he's glanced it rather than headed towards the goal, hasn't he?
Podence short to Neto again. Attempted first time delivery, another deflection. He'll go behind for another corner. Wolves just trying to change the angle of the delivery here. Podence is just touching it for Neto to then whip it in left-footed from that left-hand side. It caused Palace problems. What will they do this time?
I think Podence will put this one in, I think. I'll say just
he will
change
do.
it.
Whip to the near post and hooked away by Michy Batshuayi. Wolves throw. 12.5 minutes played. Wolves might feel that set piece opportunity had Willy Bolly made a full connection. He's not scored for an awful long time, Willy Bolly. Didn't score a Premier League goal last season. Last Premier League goal came away at Southampton in the season before. Last goal was away at Besiktas, and what a goal that was.
Yeah, it was a great finish, wasn't it?
Neto's deep cross taken out of the air by Guaita. Yeah, this is his 30th appearance since his last goal, Willy Bolly. Not scored in the league for 33 appearances, all the way back to April 2019. The last Premier League goal. He did have one ruled out by VAR against Leicester last year. Tomo will say was a wrong decision.
No doubt. Can't believe that it was disallowed.
I bet you can't even remember it.
Was it the one here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Jeffrey Slupp up towards the corner of the penalty area, trying to evade Bolly. Got his cross in. Cody was well positioned. Edge of the 6-yard box to head it behind for a Crystal Palace corner.
Because the one disallowed at Leicester was Dendoncker, wasn't it?
Yeah, that hit Bolly's arm.
Yeah, I know he was involved in both.
Just about 14 minutes played. Crystal Palace with what's been a rare attack, really. Also got everybody back defending the penalty area. This will be right-footed from the left-hand side, whipped into the near post. It's Jimenez who chests it down for Podence, who lifts it forwards to Neto, and it's unfortunate that Jimenez was racing forwards at such pace that couldn't quite get there. Bolly following up.
Yeah, it's a great tackle from Bolly, wasn't he? Just stepped in.
Dendoncker. Podence forwards to Neto. There was a hint of handball there from Dendoncker, and I think he knew it, but referee's played on. It won't count if Wolves go on and score. Podence down the right-hand side. Good run. Fizz's cross in. Plucked out the air by the Palace keeper at the near post.
Yeah, they just seem to be playing with a lot more confidence and energy, didn't the Wolves? So it's been a good start. 15 minutes gone. And I just think if we want more goals, we've got to take more risks, and the team seem to be doing that tonight already.
Yeah, they are trying to take the game to Crystal Palace.
I think they've shot Palace very sharp and quick. They've come out of the stalls there. They've made it difficult for them to get the ball. I think this is probably the best possession they've had throughout this first half so far.
Milivojevic for Klein. Townsend forced backwards by Aït-Nouri. Jimenez protecting the new wing back. Ball comes to Milivojevic on halfway. Further back to Kouyaté. The middle of the Palace half to Scott Dan. Milivojevic at the base of the centre circle. Dendoncker closed him down.
We just spoke about the front three rotating around Neto, Podence and Jimenez. Already we've just seen it.
Early ball in towards Batshuayi. He puts the ball in the back of the net, but the offside flag will go up.
Yeah.
Palace with a swift move down the left-hand side.
Well, there's that counter-attack again they've got.
Definitely did look like Batshuayi was offside.
Yeah, he did. He looked like he was ahead, wasn't he? But that's a let off there. And that's what they can do to your Palace.
It's just a neat little bit of interplay. And Van Aanholt
he's off.
In behind.
Marginal, but he's off.
A little bit of a let-off.
Yeah. That's what they can't afford to do.
17 minutes played in the game. Wolves 0, Crystal Palace 0.
But we spoke about it, didn't we? That's what they can do. Counter-attack. And just within one pass, they're in on the back line of Wolves, and to say the goal's ruled offside. But they've got to be so careful.
Here's Aït-Nouri on the left-hand side. Back to Kilman. To Neves, to Cody. Cody, another perfect ball out to Semedo. Just 10 yards over the halfway line, trying to thread it in behind for the run of Daniel Podence. Podence now trying to hang his cross towards Neto. It came off Kouyaté. Aït-Nouri to strike it. Oh, what a start to his Wolves career. Ryan Aït-Nouri arriving at the far post, meets it and fires it into the bottom corner. Wolves 1, Crystal Palace 0. Welcome to Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah, just watching the coaches have definitely put a smile on the faces. It's nice to get a goal in the first half, but they've looked good in this first half, or this first 18 minutes or so. They've been the team that took the game to Crystal Palace. I know Crystal Palace just got a goal just ruled offside, but it has been a good start. Great ball from Podence again. And Aït-Nouri coming in there just on the volley. Good hit. Just watching the replay. Been involved in a lot already, isn't he, Podence? Good strike. Went through somebody's legs. Keeper no chance.
Confidence of the young man as well.
Yeah, he's grown into the first half, hasn't he? Where that first few touches, he was a bit negative, just keep going back. But as the first half's gone on, he's been more positive. He's been getting up there. Carl Ikeme will be happy, won't he?
English football is easy if your name is Ryan Aït-Nouri. 90 minutes played. There was just a little VAR check for Pedence running forwards. It was pretty close, but clearly it was okay. And this is Premier League football. Wolves could have been behind, saved by an offside. And they've gone down the other end and got themselves in front. Here's Milivojevic, Riedewald with a flick on, goes all the way through to Rui Patricio.
Yeah, so I think that they just got to keep pushing Crystal Palace back. Don't back off them.
I say it's the way football can be, because the under-23s down at Crystal Palace Sellers Park on Monday got punished twice by Palace right after Wolves had their best chances. Here's Jimenez into the penalty area, just about lost possession. Scott Dan got it clear.
Just didn't fall for him, did it? You could see him just trying to pull the trigger there.
Christian Benteke scored for Palace on Monday. He is amongst their substitutes, as is Martin Kelly, who started that game. I say Wolves under 23s put in a pretty decent performance. They had an awful lot of the ball, as you would expect with a Wolves-Palace difference, but Palace produced the two biggest moments of quality in the game. Wonderful free kick by Taylor Perry, though. Second brilliant free kick in a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
You talk about young players making an impact. Max Kilman has played well last couple of games, and now Ryan Aït-Nouri.
Well, they've got to keep playing well. I mean, you have to stay on this side now. I think that you've got to keep performing. There's players who can come in.
Neves, another good ball out to the right side to Semedo. 35 yards from goal, drifting infield towards the edge of the box, striking! Oh, and it wasn't far away from the far post from Nelson Semedo. Not sure many people expected him to let fly with his left foot there. Least of all the Crystal Palace defence and goalkeeper.
I think he took the Wolves players by surprise as well, him coming in. But I think he started really well, Semedo. He's put some quality balls in. I thought that was in. I know it's the opposite side to us. Oh, just watching it from behind the goal.
It was bending, but not quite enough.
Because it was well hit with his weaker foot coming in.
Wolves 1, Crystal Palace 0, 21 minutes played. It's been a good game so far. Palace having a goal disallowed for offside. Wolves have tried to take the game to them, but Palace are a big threat on the counter-attack.
Yeah, they can't switch off. So you're just watching it again, just pushing up that line.
Semedo winning the ball back in his own half, though. Bolly to Cody inside the penalty area. Need to lift it wide for Aït-Nouri. He's got his head there ahead of Klein. Kouyaté finding Milivojevic. Gets it back from Klein. Under pressure from Ruben Neves. Wide for Nathaniel Klein again. Milivojevic on the halfway line. Back to Scott Dan midway inside his own half. Riedewald will take over. Down the line come Palace. Ball into the penalty area there will be picked up by Kilman. Aït-Nouri. Pedence. Neves, middle of the Wolves half. Another lovely ball over halfway to Neto's. Miscontrolled it actually, but Semedo was there and it made it look like it was absolutely intentional.
I was going to say, it looked like a great first time past him, did it? The control.
He'll claim that it was intentional.
But again, so Neves and Connor Cody have been picking the targets out pretty well, haven't they? With that switch of play. Semedo's pushing right on that line.
There's Dentonka just to the right of the centre circle. Low ball across it for Kilman. Pedence is out on the touchline. Here is Daniel Pedence. Aït-Nouri's in field for him. Pedence may just continue carrying the ball and then spots the gap to whip it out to the right side to Semedo. One touch, lifts his cross in. Jimenez brings it down on the chest, but then caught in two minds really, whether to try and strike it, and it sat up. So I think he tried to try and shift it onto his left, and just too heavy a touch there.
I think he's got caught in two minds there, hasn't he? He's tried to just drag it down to the side to it with his left foot. Then his other thing was he's just bounced up nice for him to shoot as well, wasn't it? And I think he was just caught in deciding what he was going to do.
It's Pedence winning it back. Jimenez Just blocked off by Milivojevic. Jimenez still with it. Neto, first time out to the left-hand side by the corner flag for Podence, who gets to the ball. Trying to find Aït-Nouri, intercepted by Townsend, out of play for a Wolves throw. Paul Clifford says, great to be with you all. Friday night, curry night. And the Wolves Matchday Live Extra team, what more can you ask for? Just a Wolves win. Big hello to Ed in Reading as well. Aït-Nouri's throw down the line. Podence blocked off by Kouyaté, but Podence working hard to try and keep hold of the ball. Neves, Dendonka's going to have a hit! Oh, off the top of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. The brilliant Belgian within millimetres of a stunning goal. Podence kept it alive, Neves fed it infield, and Dendonka took one touch and then struck it from just in front of the D, central position. It swerved away to the right. Just got too high. What a good effort that was.
It was. I thought it was in because Saints beat the keeper. Great hit as well. But again, Podence riding a couple of tackles there, been able to get the ball. Oh.
Wolves 1, Crystal Palace 0, 25 minutes played. How these two teams are amongst the lowest scorers.
I know.
Is anybody's guess, really. Well, I mean, I guess you could say that because they've only got one between them so far, but the amount of attacking play we've seen tonight.
You got the goal disallowed. You got Wolves hitting the crossbar. A couple of efforts on goal as well. Podence making the keeper have a save.
Yeah, Goiter's been the far busier of the two. Let's hope it stays that way. Milivojevic to Kouyaté. Van Aanholt on the left-hand side for Palace. Infield to Milivojevic. We'll try and thread it through to Riedewald, to Andros Townsend. Townsend towards the edge of the area trying to shoot, and Kilman did enough to make the ball just bounce up and go through to Patricia.
Yeah, great defending there. Pushed him just to the left-hand side, or right-hand side, I should say, for Townsend to hit. And he's out just to get a block on it.
There's Semedo. Falls towards Neto. Headed away by Dan. Picked up by Van Aanholt for Schlupp. Van Aanholt closed down by Neto. That'll be a Palace throw. Apparently, Ed fell off the bed when we scored.
What? Because we scored in the first half? Is that what it was?
Well, yeah, maybe.
It was a big surprise, yeah.
The shock of it all. Dendonka forwards. Jimenez. Suddenly, Wolves have 3-on-3. Jimenez to the right-hand side to Neto. Neto trying to lift into danger. And Podence arriving. It is 2-0. Another superb sweeping move. And Daniel Podence is there in the right place at the right time to apply the finishing touch. Wolves 2, Palace 0, and it's 2 goals in the first half as well.
It is, but that's come well from putting pressure on high up the field. But a great ball in from Neto from that right-hand side. Well, a good finish. Deserves a goal. But again, they just won it just inside of the Crystal Palace half. Jimenez just running at them. Just watching the replay. Great ball in. Oh, good finish. Good finish.
Wolves have been superb.
They have. They've started the game really well. Was it 27 minutes gone?
And Daniel Podence likes playing against Crystal Palace. He opened his Wolves account against them at the back end of last season. He's doubled it against them tonight. He'll be hoping he can play Palace every week at this rate.
It's not over yet. You've got to make sure that we defend right. But again, I think it's by taking the game to Crystal Palace, I think they've found it difficult. They've been sharp. They've switched the play really well.
Milivojevic to Riedewald. Over the halfway line. To Milivojevic again. And to switch the play from right to left. Out to Van Aanholt. Van Aanholt with Schlupp infield, finding Wilfried Zaha. Semedo blocked off the attempted pass, and Neves to Jimenez, who did well to chest it back to Neves. He's asked a bit too much of Daniel Podence, and Klein will get back there.
You could see what he was trying to do, couldn't you, Neves? Just trying to put it into the space for him to run onto.
Townsend down the right-hand side for Palace, looking to drive deep into the Wolves half. He had Klein in support, but he's overhit his pass, and he'll go through for a goal kick. Auntie P on the Shifnal sofa doing some knitting. Nephew James is back in Marseille having a sushi night with his French in-laws, both hanging on our every word. Boys are sounding lively tonight. Let's have a good win. Andy John says, we think 3-0 to Wolves for me and my daughter Florence in Amsterdam. Hello from Rob in Calgary. Interesting team selection tonight. Big game in our development, so time to crack on. He's gone for 4-0 Wolves in second place. And he says if that comes true, he will appear on Matchday Live. He says, actually, I'll take 1-0 and he'll win gracefully. Well, you're already better than that. As Tomo says, still a long way to go. You wouldn't rule out more goals in this game.
No, with the way that they're playing. So, but that's what they've got to do. They've got to keep Crystal Palace on the back foot for me.
Neto, good footwork on the right-hand side. He will draw the foul and a free kick midway inside the half.
And I think this is going to be an important time for Wolves. Say Crystal Palace have just been had that second goal put against them. I think they've got to keep them down there now. Try and keep putting pressure on them.
But then it's down the line. Eight Nori gave chase. Klein infield to Kouyaté, whose clearance goes out of play for a Wolves throw.
Yeah, again, there you're putting pressure on them, giving Wolves the ball back. That's what they've got to keep doing. Keep putting pressure on them. Don't give them any time, space on it, because this first 30 minutes or so, that's been the key.
By the way,
got 2 goals.
I can't wait till half-time. Carl Ikeme stole my prediction, and it's already gone after less than half an hour. And if it stays like this now...
No. We don't want more goals.
If it stays like this now, oh my word. He's not going to come on after the game.
What did Looms go for?
2-1, I think, same as you.
Did he, yeah? Well, I hope I'm wrong.
You hope I'm right?
No, I want more goals.
Oh, you hope Robin Calgary is right. There's Penance just short of halfway. Back to Max Kilman. Wolves very much in the ascendancy, leading by 2-0. Neves to Cody. Another perfect pass by Cody out to Semedo. There must be 7 or 8 of them already tonight.
Well, between him and Neves, they've been picking out the targets every pass so far.
Rocking Chair Dave went for 2-1 Wolves. Big hello to Martin Lovett listening in from Cyprus. Christina went 2-1 Wolves in Wisconsin. Semedo back into his own half to Cody. Speaking of Carl Ikeme, Scott Landry says there is only one Carl Ikeme. Scott's also a survivor, and he wore his Ikeme 1 kit when he left the hospital last year. Here's Eight Nori's ball in field, turned away by Scott Dan. All the very best to you, Scott, by the way. Hope you continue to stay safe and healthy, as we do. Everyone who is tuned in to us, part of the Wolves family and community. Bolly over halfway. Jimenez for Semedo. Back to Jimenez. Seems to have more and more license to go where he wants in recent games.
Well, I think the front three have. I think that they seem to be rotating. So you've seen there Jimenez just coming into that midfield area again. And then Pedance going up on the top line. I think that's why Crystal Palace have found it difficult, that rotation from the 3.
Yeah, and there has been a little bit of a change, isn't there, from how they set up in the couple of the opening games with Neto as much more of a midfielder. It does feel much more like they're back to the more traditional 3-4-3.
Yeah, but you look at the way that they're working when they haven't got the ball. They're working really hard. They've won it numerous times, high up the field, and it's allowed them to get that, especially that second goal. But that's what they've done well.
Van Arnholt for Sahar, back to Schlupp, just over 10 yards in the Wolves half, infield to Dan to the left of the centre circle. 33 minutes played, Wolves 2, Palace 0. Schlupp down the line. Or will come back infield, Milivojevic. Trying to thread it through to Riedewald. Neves wrapped his right foot round him and got the ball. Schlupp picks up on the loose pass though. There's Wilfred Sahar. Again, it's Bolly to intercept. Ball comes to Andros Townsend, 30 yards from goal. Schlupp. Just Van Aanholt evading the sliding challenge of Neto. Zaha running forwards, and Semedo got a touch on the ball, and it goes behind for a Crystal Palace corner.
Yeah, he's had a good start, as I said, Semedo, because Zaha, we know, is an important player for Crystal Palace, and already he's been quite sharp, marking him. Did well to get back there. Yeah, just got a toe to the ball.
Milivojevic with a corner, right-footed from the left-hand side. Again, Wolves have everybody back to defend. It's going to bounce around awkwardly, and Patricio will pluck the ball out of the air, but it's already gone behind for another corner.
Well, that was a shame, wasn't it? It would have been just nice for Patricio just to calm the game down a little bit.
Host of bodies inside the 6-yard box. Riedewald and Aït-Nouri right in front of Patricio.
Well, that's what they're trying to do, try and block him off.
Schweier and Schlupp are in there as well. Kouyaté and Dan to run from deep. It's whipped in their direction. It comes through to Dan and turned behind by Leander Dendoncker, who was perfectly positioned inside his own 6-yard box.
Well, that's a free header there for Dan, isn't it? Yeah, they've let him go. I think Patricio was getting it, but took no risks. Just got rid of the ball.
Townsend to take left-footed from the right-hand side this time. Martin Atkinson's seen something he doesn't like in the 6-yard box. Palace have put even more players in there now. There are 5 Palace players in the 6-yard box. As it goes whipped in, and Patricio comes in front of them all and claims it.
Well, you can't buy that, can you? Keeper coming there and just gathering it like that. Yeah, just watching that chance again from Crystal Palace.
Here's Patricio looking to launch the ball downfield. Kouyaté with the header away. Neves for Aït-Nouri. Jimenez to Aït-Nouri to Neves. Dendoncker backwards. Cody with the ball. Now finding Kilman. Wide to Aït-Nouri. Back to Max Kilman. Midway inside his own half. Infield to Connor Cody. Central position, looking right. Finding the feet of Dendoncker. There's Kilman to Aït-Nouri. Just over halfway on the left-hand side for Wolves. Palace, plenty of players back. It comes back to Kilman. Now wide to Aït-Nouri. Tried to find Pedence. It was just intercepted by Townsend. Riedewald forwards. Batshuayi looked to be caught by Connor Cody on the edge of the centre circle.
Yeah,
Martin Atkinson agreed.
Yeah, he just miscontrolled the ball, but kind of threw Connor Cody off a little bit. He was already coming to make the challenge on him.
Here's Scott down on the halfway line, closed down by Neto. Wide for Zaha. Van Aanholt's continued his run, but Bolly got across to him. Ball will come to Wilfried Zaha, though.
Yeah, well read again by Bolly, wasn't it?
Riedewald trying to touch the ball to the inside Palace left for Wilfried Zaha, who held off Dendoncker. Oh, now a tumble in the penalty area, and Palace are going to get a penalty kick. Patrick Van Aanholt, the man who was caught.
I think
Willy Bolly is protesting.
I think he's just come on the blind side of Bolly.
Well, VAR will have a check on it. It was Zaha who threaded the ball through. Bolly came now. Then Van Aanholt's gone over, and I don't think Bolly
challenged him.
Has made a connection there.
No.
Just Bolly stands tall.
Yeah, he doesn't put a foot in, does he?
Martin Atkinson is making sure everybody's back. VAR are officially checking this.
Yeah, whether or not it is. He's offside.
Now then, well, it could be another reason to deny the penalty.
Yeah, he's offside. Yeah.
Patrick Van Aanholt is definitely offside, so whether Bolly fouled him or not,
doesn't matter. He's offside.
This decision may well get overturned anyway.
Yeah, he's offside.
Rui Barbosa, the Wolves goalkeeper coach, you can hear shouting it's offside. Still Martin Atkinson is waiting for the check, and here it will be overturned.
Yeah. Yeah, he's offside.
I'm not sure it would have been a penalty anyway if VAR had gone through with the complete check. But the offside decision made sure.
just into the director's box, mate. They were just asking me why it's been cancelled.
Steve Ball is the man in the director's box asking for the information. Robert Plant is also here as well today.
Got the two VPs here. Rarity, both of them together.
Palace throw inside their own half. Wolves 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Well, they've had two bits of well, not bits of luck, but say like two offside decisions, haven't it? That's cancelled out a penalty in the goal for Crystal Palace. You could say it's a good defensive line by Wolves.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's luck or not. It's one of those things, isn't it? That's what VAR is there to do.
I like VAR now.
It's Kuyate.
Who didn't want it, eh?
Circle.
Bring on the lines as well.
Klein to Townsend. And just Townsend back in field to Milivojevic. Closed down quickly by Ruben Neves, who's managed to win the ball back, but Martin Atkinson says unfairly this time.
Oh, I don't think so. He was struggling to go anywhere. Podence and Neves closed him down pretty well, blocked off everything.
Knew it wouldn't take long for Tomo to start criticising officials. If anyone had a stopwatch on the length of time that took. Townsend under pressure from Aït-Nouri. Too much pressure for Martin Atkinson's liking. You just get the feeling the marginal decisions are going Palace's way at the minute. Riedewald to Milivojevic in the centre circle. Scott Dan. Up towards halfway. Out to Van Arnholt on the left-hand side. Back infield to Scott Dan. Last 4 minutes pretty much of the half, plus time to be added on. Wolves maybe will start to protect what they have here as it goes back to the keeper.
I'd rather see them just keep pushing on for me. I think it's worked for them in these first 40 minutes.
Mistake by Klein. Palace get away with it. Cody went sliding in. They'll come back though for a foul on Andros Townsend, just inside the Palace half.
Yeah, it's Kilman, isn't it?
Kilman's going to get a bit of a talking to from Martin Atkinson. John Bradley says no sitting back now, keep pushing forwards.
Yeah, I think so as well. Just watching that chance again.
John's in not very exotic Ealing. Ria reckons it'll be 4-0 Wolves in Takeley. Richard Wilding in South Africa. Wolves sounding great. 2 great goals so far. Hopefully more to come.
Well, we want more goals, so you don't win. So basically as well. You can't gloat anymore.
Here's Van Arnholt on the left-hand side. Midway inside the Wolves half. Back infield to Schlupp. Dendoncker closed him down. It goes backwards to Dan. Down the line again. Shuai was blocked off as Bolly clears the ball towards the halfway line. Kuyate gets control of it. Schlupp wide for Van Arnholt. Sahar down the line. Up against Semedo. Forced backwards. Schlupp. Then closed down by Neto. Has to go all the way back to Scott Dan, just inside the Wolves half. Schlupp again. Bouncing off Neto. Turning and working the ball out wide. Nowhere to go for Wilfried Zaha as he goes backwards to Scott Dan. Wolves may not be controlling possession right now, but it feels like they're controlling the space. Van Arnholt trying to run through. And across comes Connor Cody.
Yeah, well defended again.
An excellent touch.
Well, they're having a little bit of a possession at the minute, aren't they? Crystal Palace. Oh.
Neto and Podence were trying to break. Nothing came from it. Palace having the ball back. Schlupp. Blocked off by Dendoncker. Schlupp infield to Van Arnholt. Back to halfway to Kuyate. Kuyate to Batshuayi. Back to Milivojevic. Palace's best spell of possession in the game. Wolves are holding firm right now as Sahar runs the ball infield. Milivojevic again into the centre of the half to Townsend. Turning and whipping out to Riedewald on the right-hand side. Closed down by Podence. Ball goes backwards to Kuyate. To the right of the centre circle. Milivojevic for Klein. Back to Kuyate again. Up towards Sahar. Kilman at his back. Kilman strong challenge. Neves got there. Neves looked to be caught late. Referee says no.
Well,
Not a lot of difference between that and the challenge on Townsend a moment ago.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think there was much.
Van Arnholt crossing from deep, Bolly slicing the ball across his own penalty area. Aït-Nouri turned and hooked it away from the edge of the box. Klein, a lot of pressure now building from Palace's point of view. Milivojevic into the centre of the half for Schlupp. Miscontrol from him. Neto head down, made sure he got there ahead of Van Arnholt. Drives over halfway and wins his team a free kick.
Yeah, so some good defending, as you said there. Crystal Palace having a little bit more possession, but they stood strong, Wolves. And so they do move the ball well when they've got a little bit of possession, Crystal Palace, but that's their first, best spell probably in this first half. Was it about 42 minutes, 43 minutes?
Yeah, 44 and a half minutes have been played. Wolves 2, Palace 0. The thoughts of Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo to come at half-time. Aït-Nouri's ball forwards. Klein hooking it to the halfway line. Neves heading it backwards to Cody. Fourth official's board's going to come out very shortly. As Cody has the ball midway inside his own half. A little short pass to Kilman. 2 minutes being added on.
2 minutes added time. 2 minutes.
Cody with a big crossfield ball. Another superb pass by Connor Cody to Semedo. Infield to Neves. Neves turning and whipping it. Klein just got to the bounce of the ball before it could reach Podence. Aït-Nouri taking it forwards. His goal on debut opened the scoring. Daniel Podence got the second. He's just found Jimenez. Jimenez whipping it to the right-hand side to Semedo. Up into the penalty area comes Nelson Semedo, trying to pull a low cross. Jimenez, he tried to tee it up for someone on the edge of the box instead of turning and shooting. And you heard the groans from the director's box next to us. I think that was all from Steve Bull.
I think it was, because he just set himself up there. Lovely, Jimenez. I thought he was just going to shoot there, but tried to lay it to Neves. I think it was just on the edge.
Aït-Nouri's won it back. Neto finding Podence. Strong finish to the half here for Wolves. Cody. Wide to Semedo. Nelson Semedo has Neves just infield for him. Just ahead of the centre circle. Managed to get away from Wilfried Zaha and find Neto. He's got Aït-Nouri to his left, but he's looking up to try and cross. He may have gone for goal. And Greater has to tip it away and behind for a corner. The cheekiest of efforts from Pedro Neto. It was curling and whipping towards the top corner, and it nearly caught the Palace goalkeeper napping.
I think he was looking for Jimenez there. I think he's looked up and saw Jimenez's run. You can see there.
No, he's gone for goal there, Tomo. Look at his eye. Look at where his head's looking. He keeps looking. I think he meant that.
Well, there's no reason why he can't do it. To say he's got the ability to do it.
It's Neto's corner, left-footed from the left-hand side. Whipping in towards the near post. The goalkeeper punches. Semedo tries to strike it. Hits it way over the top of the crossbar. And it brings to an end a pulsating first-half performance. 2 goals for Wolves. 1 for the debutant, Rayan Aït-Nouri. The second for Daniel Podence. Only his second for the football club. Both have come here at Molineux in the same goal against Crystal Palace. Wolves have had one hit the crossbar from Leander Dendoncker. Podence went close, forced a very good save when he was curling effort, was going towards the top corner. Neto towards the end of the half there. Palace actually had the ball in the back of the net before any of that took place. The offside flag against Michy Batshuayi saved them. They then got themselves a penalty awarded when Patrick Van Arnholt went down under a potential challenge of Willy Bolly. That was somewhat debatable from our point of view. It wasn't given. Well, it was given. And then VAR checked, and Van Arnholt was offside in the build-up, so it didn't matter whether Bolly had made any connection or not. And at the end of all of that, Wolves lead by 2-0, and what a good game of football
Well,
this
it has.
is.
I think they've started and played really well in that first half. I think they've knocked the ball around. They've been positive with the play. I think the switching of the play has been important, but also about the early delivery and quality of the delivery as well has caused a problem. That second goal's come from them winning the ball high up the field and putting pressure on Crystal Palace. And it's just nice seeing goals in the first half. But they have played really well in that first half, the way they played the ball around.
Well, first half goals may be a bit of a rarity as far as Wolves are concerned, but they have 2, and they lead comfortably at the break with potentially More to come in the second half. Don't go anywhere. More from Tomo and the thoughts of Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo to come on Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV, powered by Blythe Group. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app. Wolves TV, Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
This season, the Old Gold Club and Wolves TV Matchday Live are powered by Blythe Group, an industry-leading construction company and family-run business since 1982, driving investment and infrastructure across the UK. Blythe Group's mission is to provide an unrivaled service based on innovative, bespoke building solutions and comprehensive customer support. If you're a skilled tradesperson and you want to join the team that powers our team, contact their bases in Wolverhampton, Manchester or Maidenhead via theblythegroup.co.uk. Blythe Group, big enough to deliver, small enough to care.
The Old Gold Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molineux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from England, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Gold Club, My Golden Game, powered by Blythe Group, available now.
Wolves TV Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
So half-time here at Molineux. Wolves lead by 2-0. What a good start it has been. Hopefully there is more to come from Wolves in the second half. Let's get the thoughts of Chris Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme. Keems, this is what you've been calling for. Some pace down the left-hand side, and it worked a treat.
Just should be in charge, shouldn't I? Really good start from Wolves. I like the way that we've been putting the ball in the box a lot earlier. Then Dunker's been running forward, getting in the box. We've had players getting in the box. Podence and Neto have been brilliant. Palace looked dangerous towards the end of the half, but apart from that, I think we've looked really good, moved the ball well, and been a real threat going forward.
Have to totally agree. I think being outstanding. You think about both sides. Carl said there about putting early crosses into the box. I think Semedo and Aït-Nouri has been outstanding. I think Podence and Neto as well. That three, Tomo touched on it. No, the rotation that really caused a lot of problems with Palace. And then Dendoncker, the engine that he's got getting into the box, the 2 attempts, one that he took from the edge of the box, he struck it ever so well. And it's just always going away. If he doesn't strike it as well as that, it's probably in the back of the net. But playing with a purpose, really put Palace on the back foot, not allowing them to get into the match at all. And they're going to have their moments. It's clinical. Podence, like Keems shouted, was saying it's so important. He makes things happen. But again, for me, that on that half, you're probably looking at Neto being the main man, because I think he's, without the ball, we're all working very, very hard, organised. But as soon as we get it, Palace are out of position, and we're capitalising on that. So I think really pleasantly surprised, because what Newcastle done with personnel that weren't in the position, Palace are very good at doing this, and they're second best today. So hopefully we can see some more goals, because we've been really, really on form.
So is it just a tempo thing? Is that what we're saying the difference is maybe between Sunday and tonight?
No, well, Carl said that the balls coming in early, aren't they? Because there's bodies in the box as well. Not only bodies in the box, we've got the likes of Dendoncker breaking his neck, so he's picking up balls that are falling to the edge. You know, we're on our front foot. We're anticipating. You know, we're really grabbing the game taking the game by the scruff of the neck, and that's a must. Now, I think Palace, because the way that they play, they allow you to have the ball, but we've been good. They've not been able to intercept. They've not been able to set their traps, which you would usually do. And then without the ball, when it does break down, we react. We're so organised without it. They can't play through us, and then we get the ball back again. You know, I think Tomo's called it a few times. You know, without the ball, the work rate has been outstanding, but then it's the quality as well, Tom, on it. In that transition, it's what you do with it. We've always got passes on. We've always got options. We get our head up. We're looking forward. But Pedro Neto, for me, you know what? Unbelievable tonight. Fantastic, outstanding.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Looms, as well, because, like you said, the way Palace play, they allow us to have the ball, but it's been the Christmas of the passes. From the start, you've seen the Christmas, and you can kind of see it, I think, especially us, maybe as pros and ex-pros, like you can see when that it's pushed in with a bit of intensity, the touch is right, and it just started to flow right straight away from the off. And I think, I know they've been letting us have it. We've been doing the right things with the ball. We've been getting it wide, getting it in the box. Nice little passive potential Neto, as you've been saying, and we've looked dangerous throughout the half.
At the other end, VAR has come into play, rightly ruling out Michy Batshuayi's goal. What did you think to the penalty challenge? We know that it was given offside anyway, but had it been onside, some debate from me and Tomo here. What did you think watching it from home?
Well, when the thing about it is, if there's any contact, it's a penalty, Mikey. You know, I think Willy Bolly there, he stood up straight. Van Aanholt, but he's reacted. So Van Aanholt's got in behind him. He's taken a great first touch. Willy Bolly's left his foot in there. Now, as a player, if he can stay on his feet, even if there is contact, for me, it's still a penalty kick. Even if he gets a shot away, because he's at a disadvantage. So, but VAR's come in, and the one thing that is, there's no grey area, it's offside. You know, it's black or white, isn't it? And like both of them are being spot on. The reasons why we've got issues with VAR is they're saying people are offside when they're not even in the phase of play. You know, and that's something that's a massive question mark. But it is a penalty kick if Aanholt's onside.
I disagree. I'm not too sure. I think it would have been given. I'm not going to disagree with you. So that's what I disagree with you too much on it, because I think it would have been given. But I kind of felt like Bailey pulled out of the challenge.
It doesn't matter if he pulls out. It doesn't matter if he pulls out.
But I actually don't think he went for the challenge though.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
Yeah, but if there's contact, it's a penalty.
Contact then.
Yeah.
What do you mean? So there's no contact at all?
As Arnold.
No, I don't think Bolly makes contact with Arnold.
Yeah, I think he's made the contact.
You don't need to ask Tomo, do you? Because Tomo definitely believes it's not.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Put a boat lines on the VAR.
Tomo's joined the VAR fan club.
I've got pencils and ruler out here, mate. Just doing some lines.
But you know what? That as dominant as we were, we still seen what Palace can do.
Yeah.
You know, certain strengths, and it does. It switches you on. You can't lose concentration in a Premier League match, in any match, because Palace do have the quality to punish you. And like you say, if Willy Bolly, and you know what, the defensive line, Tom, what you called it, the defensive line was outstanding for Van Aanholt to be offside anyway.
Up above decisions.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you just got to be switched on. You've got to be switched on, because the way they've not seen a lot of it, but when they do get into that final third, that attacking third, the movement, the pace of the movement, it is a tricky one. But I see more goals if we can attack it. And like Carl's already said, you know, that pass with intensity, the crispness, you know, the movement. If we can start like that in the second half, Palace, I think it could go on to like 3-4, even maybe even more.
By the way, as far as the score predictions goes, Carl Ikeme stole my prediction, and it was gone within 27 minutes.
I only done it so you couldn't choose one now.
But as I say, now if it stays like this,
we want more. I think it's going to be interesting, to be honest. I don't think I think the game's far from over. And I know we can all say that at half time, but Palace did look threatening towards the end of the half. You can see they were starting to get a bit of confidence, get Zaha, Van Alden down the line, left side, sorry. And they looked a threat second half.
Look, we've all been around the game a long time, and 2-0 is a it's a tricky scoreline, isn't it? You know, because the next goal is so important. If we can go out and get the third, for me it's game over. If Palace get it, you know what it's like. You're 2-1. They're on the front foot. You're defending their confidence. So it's so important. The next goal is massive.
Okay, hopefully it's going to go Wolves' way. Thank you very much, Chris Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme. More from the boys following the final whistle here on Wolves TV. Matchday Live Extra. Wolves lead by 2-0 at half-time. Hopefully more to come in the second half. Don't go anywhere.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV, powered by Blight Group. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app. Wolves TV, Matchday Live, powered by Blight Group. Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
Jota on the volley, oh, what a goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Wolves TV Matchday Live, powered by Blight Group.
Two teams are on their way back out for the second half here at Molineux. Dave Wright says, I'm in dreamland, but Palace show they can be dangerous. What a game. 2 goals, no Jimenez. Would not have believed that before today. Sue from Molineux says, Blooming we scored 2 goals in the first half. Good signs. Pedence lively and a deserved goal. Nuno said he wanted more goals. Changed the lucky shirt before kickoff. It's staying on now, says Sue, using the hashtag Wolves Live to get in touch with us tonight across social media. Interesting stats-wise, by the way, all the talk beforehand about Crystal Palace not really averaging very much with the ball. They just edged it in possession terms, 52-48 in that first half. Maybe that kind of last 10-15 minutes really changed it a lot. But Wolves with 10 shots to Palace's 3. 3 of Wolves on target, none from Crystal Palace. 5 corners to 4 in Wolves' favour. And as far as the pass success rate goes, Palace are just edging it 88% to Wolves 86%. But we talk about long balls, Tomo. 27 of 33 have been accurate tonight for Wolves. That's a hell of a lot more than Palace are producing. Cody and Neves are the difference at the moment.
Well, they are. So, look, and that switch in play early doors, isn't it? And so we've said about the delivery and the quality of delivery early from Semedo, especially, has caused Crystal Palace a problem. So, and that's what they've got to keep doing now. Got to maintain that quality. I think the tempo, we've spoken about it time and time again. That's been the big difficulty for Crystal Palace, staying with Wolves.
Well, no changes from either side of the break as Bolly fouls Missy Batshuayi. And Palace will have a free kicking opportunity to lift the ball into the penalty area.
Yeah, sending the boys up from the back.
Wolves defending the Stancullis North Bank second half, attacking the Sir Jack Hayward South Bank away to our right-hand side. But hence a one-man wall, a couple of yards outside the penalty area. It's just over 10 yards in from the left-hand touchline. Milivojevic stood over it, right-footed on this Palace left. Wolves defensive line just inside the penalty area. They'll drop deep now as the ball gets whipped in. Headed to the edge of the box. Townsend strikes and it went through the bodies, and Patricio had to realign himself at the final moment.
Oh,
managed to hold on.
Well, I thought the fear factor there, because we all know about his striking from the edge of the box. Remember that Man City goal that he scored? Took a big deflection as well.
Running through the two teams in just a second. Here's Van Arnholt. Back to Scott Dan. Jarro Riedewald. High ball out to Klein, who had to control it on the chest on the halfway line. Also Patricio in goal. Bolly, Cody Kilman. Semedo and Ait-Nouri are the wing backs. Dendoncker and Neves in midfield. Pedence, Jimenez and Neto up top. Guaita in goal for Palace. Klein, Kouyaté, Dan and Van Arnholt. Townsend, Riedewald, Milivojevic and Schlupp, with Sahar and Batshuayi the most advanced. This is Jeffrey Schlupp on the left-hand side, trying to run on the outside of Semedo. Managed to get a low cross into the near post. Cody was just fouled there by Batshuayi, and Wolves will get themselves a free kick.
Yeah, again, good defending from him. Just got his body position in the right place to cause him a problem. So couldn't get across him.
So Wolves leading by 2-0.
Just seeing this first goal from Wolves. Oh, good strike. Good strike.
Should say that Wolves women's manager Dan McNamara is in the director's box, not far from Tomo in his military uniform. Spent the past 12 years as a weapons technician in the Royal Air Force. He's doing a good job with Wolves women as well. And good to see him here amongst those paying tribute on what is Wolves' remembrance fixture. Players have poppies on the shirts. Bolly goes backwards to Cody. Now for Kilman. Neves taking it on the turn. Wide for Ait-Nouri. Back to Max Kilman. Average age of this Wolves team continues to get younger and younger.
Another great ball from Conor Cody there. It's Semedo.
Yeah, perfect pass. Semedo to Neves. Well lifted out to Ray and Ait-Nouri. And to try and drift infield. Now back out wide for Pedence. Neto is out there in support. Ait-Nouri back to Pedence again. Ends up just playing it off Townsend and settling for the throw. Ray and Ait-Nouri, Tomo, was born in 2001.
Okay.
Which means he's never seen any of your football career.
Well, according to Jeff Thomas, it's a good job, wasn't it?
Here's Semedo on the right-hand side. Another lovely ball out to find him. Semedo trying to drive deep, and he's past Van Arnholt. Oh. Low ball into the danger zone, turned away by Scott Dan.
That was such a shame, wasn't it? So he did brilliant against two players, getting past them. Just the delivery, and he had time as well to pick somebody out. He just hit the first man, but some good play from him. He's had a good game so far, Semedo.
Another throw in for Wolves. Raul Jimenez finding it difficult to get space in that penalty area. He's now played more Premier League minutes against Crystal Palace without scoring than against any other team.
Let's hope he breaks his duck then.
376. The next is Leicester on 360. I credit one of our programme team, Dan Sharp, for that information. There's Conor Cody, just short of the base of the centre circle. Oh, stunning pass to find Daniel Pedence on the right-hand side for Wolves. He gets it back to Semedo. Infield to Neves. Neves will turn and drill it out to Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri up against Klein, in towards the edge of the penalty area. Trying to find himself some room, being forced wide, but Ait-Nouri's still going. He's managed to dig out across, but it's already gone behind for a goal kick.
Well, he's just watching ball after ball from Neves and Conor Cody, just picking out the targets from diagonal balls.
It's a masterclass from Conor Cody tonight, isn't it?
Oh, he's spraying it everywhere, isn't he?
Absolute masterclass from England's best central defender.
Agree, mate, I agree.
Just about 6 minutes gone on the second half. Wolves 2, Palace 0. Kouyaté to Scott Dan, middle of the Palace half. That's the left-hand side to Van Arnholt. I say it's funny how we talk so much before kick-off about potential of Wolves having loads of possession and struggling sometimes when that happens. When you score goals, you can go back to your normal way of playing. Because Palace have got to come to you.
Yeah, Well, they've got to start pushing the game a little bit more, haven't they?
Wolves' last 8 Premier League victories all included a clean sheet. Are they on their way to making that 9 from 9?
Well, wins you the game, doesn't it? Wins you the game, and that's important.
Milivojevic being closed down. Gets away from Neves, though. Sahar into the penalty area. Wilfried Sahar. There was a sliding challenge coming in. Martin Atkinson took a long look at it this time. It struck in from distance, and Rui Patricio was well behind it as it came straight to him from Andros Townsend's strike. Now I think we're going to get a VAR check on the possible penalty here for the challenge on Wilfried Sahar. Martin Atkinson is moving forwards. It was Sahar with Aït-Nouri at his back. In came Neves. Neves and Aït-Nouri both colliding on Sahar.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Martin Atkinson has the ball in hand by the penalty spot. Patricio is waiting by him, hoping that the ball will just be given back to him. All eyes on the referee, and he looks like he is handing it back to Rui Patricio.
Yeah, I was going to say.
VAR check over.
Yeah, I don't think that was a penalty. It would have been harsh if it was.
And the long kick down from Patricio. And it bounces all the way through and quite out to the edge of his box with Jimenez closing in.
Well, he was just hoping that it just didn't bounce as hard as it did there. It just went through to the keeper.
Here's Schlupp trying to drive Palace forwards down their left-hand side. Wilfried Sahar again into the penalty area. Van Aanholt on the overlap. Van Aanholt being forced backwards a touch, right-footed cross. It took a deflection and came through. And Max Kilman, the coolest man in Molineux, nods it back to Patricio from inside his own penalty area with Batshuayi waiting to bounce.
Yeah, not phased at all, is he? They're watching this decision again, whether or not it was a penalty.
Oh, I think it might be, you know.
I'll tell you what, there's contact, wasn't there?
Handball against Dendoncker just inside the Wolves half. Well, VAR checked it and they were happy enough with it.
Told you that VAR bloke's really good now. So he's doing a good job.
Paul Tierney is in charge of VAR tonight, supported by Andrew Halliday. I have to say, if that had been given, if that was down the other end, I think we'd all be screaming penalty. Wolves maybe a touch of fortune. Milivojevic, get the thoughts of Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo after the game. They disagreed on the one in the first half by Willy Bolly. Maybe they'll disagree again. Here's Sahar. Batshuayi. Sahar just left-hand side of the penalty area, trying to go on the outside of Semedo. He's trying to stay with him. He fizzes his cross all the way through, comes to the edge of the box, and it was struck goalwards by Klein, but blocked by Neto.
Good block. Well, they're having to defend a little bit now on the Wolves. Have to dig in a little bit. And you know they're going to have a spell like this. Which when they get a counter-attack or get the ball, what can they do with it?
Wolves 2, Palace 0. 55 minutes played. Riedewald always presented it straight to Podence in the centre circle, and Podence now trying to capitalise. He's got support from Neto. Infield to Dendoncker. Now Ruben Neves to Pedro Neto. Wolves gifted the ball back inside the Palace half. Aït-Nouri for Neto to Neves, who will look to switch the play out to Semedo, who's all on his own on this right-hand side. Support coming from Dendoncker and infield to Neves. Neves is going to fancy one from distance. He wasn't far off. It's definitely something we've seen in the last couple of games. Certainly the last two. Wolves being much more prepared to have a dig from distance.
And we've spoken about time and time again, haven't we, about the long-range shooting. You can't score that wonder goal every time. But I thought Neves there just hesitated a fraction. I think that he could have gone a little bit earlier with his shot. I think he realised there was nothing on, so why not? But then it's good to see.
Short one for Dan, who just got there ahead of Neto and evaded his sliding challenge. Neto nearly did the splits as he tried to get something on the ball there. Kouyaté up to the halfway line. Out to Klein on the right-hand side. Closed down by Neves, back to Milivojevic. Now Riedewald on the edge of the centre circle. Out to the left-hand side to Van Aanholt, deep inside the Wolves' half. Van Aanholt driving infield, finding Schlupp. Semedo with him. thought about getting a foot in as the low cross went into the near post. Cody dropping a shoulder away from his man and finding Neto out wide. Back to Semedo. The Wolves are pretty much total football at the moment.
I was going to say, yeah, so confidence coming from the back as well. They're under the cosh a little bit here, though.
Yeah, Van Aanholt again on the left-hand side. Closed down by Neto. Ball goes infield to Schlupp. A support from Sahar, trying to get away from Neves. Townsend. Schlupp to the edge of the penalty area, trying to strike it. Ball takes the deflection and goes backwards. Townsend heading wide. Schlupp will put it into the danger zone. Cody with a half clearance. Bolly attempting to clear it. And then the second opportunity ahead of Riedewald put his foot through it this time. And Wolves are starting to live a little bit dangerously.
Well, they are. So like, they're going to have to try and get a grip of the ball. There's pressures coming all from Crystal Palace. All the play. As I say, just over 10 minutes gone in this second half, and Crystal Palace have probably dominated the possession quite a bit.
58-42.
Yeah. Just need to get a grip of the ball. Wolves have done really well when they've had it, but at the moment they're struggling to get the ball off Palace.
57.5 minutes played. Van Aanholt on the left-hand side, midway inside the Wolves half, down the line for the run of Michy Batshuayi, who's tackled by Willy Bolly at the expense of a corner. Wolves having to do an awful lot of defending. Milivojevic will go over to take this corner, right-footed from the left-hand side, in front of that north bank.
Yeah, just got to stay strong now.
Everybody back defending the penalty area for Wolves. Milivojevic delivery into the danger zone. It came off Cody's head, and Neto with a second header clear. Klein inside the centre circle. Good pressure by Jimenez.
Yeah, it was. And also Zalpadente at this side, just stopping him from Klein playing the ball out this way.
Let's go all the way back to the goalkeeper, who's outside of his penalty area. Milivojevic for Kouyaté, base of the centre circle. Out to Townsend on the right-hand side. Short of midway inside the Wolves half to Riedewald. Now to Milivojevic. On to Townsend. Little flick for Klein. Down the line again for the run of Andros Townsend. Closed down by Aït-Nouri, who got enough of a touch on it. It will be a Palace corner again, though.
Yeah, they're starting to find those little pockets on the Crystal Palace, which is allowing them to get a little bit of momentum going forward. Because just try and get hold of the ball. Wolves.
Townsend's corner. Left-footed from the right-hand side. Again, everybody back defending. Neto the most advanced on the edge of the box. Townsend whipping in towards the near post. Semedo heading it away, and Pedence giving chase. And Pedence got there first, and he's played it down the line for Neto. And if he looks up, Jimenez is already up in support, and Dendoncker is racing up there with him as well. Neto down the left-hand side, now looking to cross it in. It's Dendoncker arriving, and he hit it on the volley. But he couldn't get it anywhere near on target. It would have been an unbelievable counter-attacking goal.
Yeah, it would have been. But again, you're looking at the man Dendoncker getting up there with Jimenez. It's a great spot from Neto. Great ball in. Just needed that execution, a little bit of... Oh, I'm just watching it. I know it's a difficult chance, but...
Tried to take it a bit on the instep, didn't he?
Yeah, just tried to place it. No, he's just come across it a little bit.
Sahar giving chase for a long ball down the right-hand side. Cody across there with him. Sahar losing out to Connor Cody. Aït-Nouri will draw the free kick on that Dendoncker chance. I think he was trying to side foot it, but then it kind of came off his laces. He just got his foot underneath it.
Yeah, he's just gone across this, hasn't he?
There's a bit of handbags going on there as Sahar puts his hand up towards the face of Ray and Aït-Nouri.
Well, he's put his hand in his face.
And there is a card out.
I think it's going to be yellow, though.
Yellow variety.
Yeah. I'll say, like, he's the first one to moan if it happens to him, and he doesn't like it, does he?
Martin Atkinson just allowing things to calm down.
Yeah, it's something out of nothing, isn't it?
Wilfred Zaha and Luka Milivojevic in conversation with Martin Atkinson, very experienced official.
Well, look, say it's a foul, so just leave it, just walk away. I think that's what his teammates are saying to him.
49 years old now, Martin Atkinson. He's been around an awful long time, but this is only his 16th Wolves game. Yellow card for Wilfried Zaha, who I think was frustrated
Yeah.
that Cody managed to steal the ball away from him. And then just got involved in a bit too much. And
He's put his hands
rubs
on his head,
hand over the hair of Aït-Nouri.
Yeah, there's no need for that, is there? Just leave it alone. Just get on with it. Foul's been given.
And a little shove on him as well. And then they almost go forehead to forehead. And then Zaha lifts his hand up towards his face.
Yeah, like I said, something out of nothing, wasn't it?
Wolves 2, Palace 0. 62 minutes played. Boys said at half-time that the next goal could be oh so important. Fascinatingly poised.
It is. So, like, you can see the threat that Wolves offer of going forward on that counter-attack. Because Palace have got to start pushing forward. Got to try and get that goal, get a goal back into it. And they'll get a little bit more frustrated the longer the game goes on.
Zaha for Van Aanholt on halfway. Back to Wilfried Zaha, just inside his own half. Milivojevic. Riedewald. Allowed to run through the centre circle. Wolves getting a little bit deeper now. It's pretty much a 5-4-1 that Wolves are playing. And they're not in possession. Kouyaté. To the right of the centre circle. Wide for Klein. Just over halfway. Back into his own half to Cheikhou Kouyaté.
You're just watching now the Wolves defending here. They're trying to push them wide. They don't want them to come into that middle. They're trying to force them out to the flanks.
Klein, 30 yards from goal, held up by Neves. Continued his run there and he gets it back from Townsend. Now stands his cross up. Wilfried Zaha trying to strike it. Brilliant block by Semedo. Kouyaté challenged by Jimenez and Palace get themselves a free kick. Very central. 25 yards from goal. Jimenez protesting his innocence. But thanks to Nelson Semedo, he managed to get that ball away when Wilfried Zaha looked like he'd got some space at the far post.
Yeah, he just pulled away from it, hadn't he? Just watching the replay of the free kick. Not much in it, but probably Jimenez just leant on him a little bit. Yeah, just watching that chance again.
It was that inviting, hanging delivery. And
yeah,
initially Semedo maybe he was underneath the ball, but managed to recover.
He did well, Semedo, because he knew he wasn't going to be able to win the header or anything. But he made sure he got close to it. What would you say, 30 yards?
Yeah, just about. The wall is just outside the 18-yard line. And they are making sure that they are happy with the wall this time.
I think so, yeah.
Milivojevic and Van Aanholt stood over it. Townsend moving away. Wolves with a 4-man wall. Big moment in the game as Milivojevic hits it over the top of the crossbar, just rippled the top of the netting as it went past Rui Patricio's outstretched hand.
Yeah, well, I think he had it covered, didn't he? So like he just pulled his hand away and it was going over.
Borechi Eze is coming on for Jeffrey Schlupp. So I think we'll just sit in on that left-hand side. Talented young attacking player.
Yeah.
Made his name at QPR last couple of seasons.
So Don Goodman talks very highly of him. Good player.
65 minutes played. Jimenez to Neto. Couldn't keep hold of the ball though.
Yeah, that's the difference from the first half and now, isn't it? Just can't get hold of it at the minute.
Van Aanholt down the line. Semedo intercepted. Dendoncker closed down by Riedewald. Dendoncker did it just enough and Bolly helped him out.
Yeah, good tackle from him.
Neves to Aït-Nouri over the halfway line. He comes down the line for the run of Podence. Podence twisting and turning 10 yards from the left-hand corner flag. Pulls it back to Neves midway inside the half. And he'll go all the way back to Cody at the base of the centre circle. Cody looks up and drills another absolute pinpoint pass out to Semedo. Infield to Neves. Back out to the right-hand touchline to Neto. Semedo's gone down the line. Neto cutting infield, finding Neves. Back out wide to Semedo it goes. Level with the edge of the penalty area. Semedo dropping a shoulder, going on the outside. Cross takes the deflection off Van Aanholt. Neto trying to twist and turn in the penalty area. Lost possession and ball hoofed clear. Bolly wins it in the air. Dendoncker back to Kilman. Aït-Nouri Down the left-hand side for Podence this time. Looking to whip it in right-footed, and Scott Dan there ahead of Jimenez chests it down to Milivojevic.
Yeah, this shows the experience in Scott Dan.
Clearance by Klein. Kilman's challenge on
Yeah.
Batshuayi. Fair
Good
enough.
defending, yeah. Good defending from him.
Martin Atkinson. Semedo for Bolly. Bolly felt there was a touch there from Wilfried Zaha, and he will get the throw in.
Well, he thought enough of a touch from him there from Zaha that he let it go out of play.
Wilfried Zaha is complaining to the fourth official. And he is on a yellow card, so he's got to be careful.
I think it's a little bit of frustration from him, isn't it?
Well, Wolves have survived over 20 minutes at the start of the second half. They may well feel they survived it reasonably comfortably. Neto, little flick on. Podence into the penalty area, on his right foot, shooting, and just wide of the far post. Oh. Daniel Podence, it's lovely little ball flicked up to Neto, who nodded it down, cushioned header, maybe suspicion of offside against Daniel Podence that VAR would have had a look at. No, I think he would have been okay.
Onside, yeah. Got
Podence back onto his right foot.
Well, he'd done the keeper, hadn't he? Just got it. If he hits the target, he's scoring.
Another wonder pass by Ruben Neves, by the way.
Yeah.
Podence maybe just tried to use Kiate's body to disguise it, to head towards the right-hand post of Guaita rather than the left. Had it been on target, I think the Palace keeper was in trouble.
Yeah. Well, he's got rooted to the floor, hasn't he? He's tried to hit it near post. I don't think the Palace keeper would have got anywhere near it.
Approaching the last 20 minutes. Palace have the ball inside their own half. Nuno in discussion with Rui Pedro Silva, his number 2. Maybe beginning to think about a change. Do they go a little bit more defensive, or do they try and keep going with what they've got?
Well, I think that the best way of doing it is keep going at Palace. That's what they did in that first half.
Riedewald's diagonal ball to Van Arnholt. Back to Eze, just inside the penalty area. Batshuayi, and brilliant covering tackle by Ruben Neves. Clearance to halfway. Dan nods it down to Riedewald. Milivojevic, wide to Eze on the left-hand side. Looking to run at Pedro Neto, but Neto sticks out his left foot, steals it, and then plays it off Riedewald and gets Wolves a throw.
Yeah, did that really well, didn't he? Neto. Could see the challenge coming in. Riedewald.
I don't think it'll be long before we see João Moutinho, you know. And maybe Adama Traore as well. Just come back in from warming up, and they're just in discussions with Antonio Diaz, the fitness coach. Here's Jimenez over the halfway line, allowed to turn, looking to run at Scott Dan. He beats him, and he's past Kouyaté to the edge of the box, striking it, and comfortable save, low to his left-hand side.
Yeah, I think Neto's a little bit annoyed. He thinks that he should have got the ball, but Jimenez wants that goal, doesn't he? He wants to get his name on the score sheet. Did really well against Dan.
A little bit reminiscent of his run at Torino last season.
Yeah, just didn't really catch it, did he, when he's tried to shoot?
Just can't find a way past Crystal Palace, Raúl Jimenez. He's up to 48 goals in his Wolves career on his 107th appearance tonight. Zaha, tackled by Bolly. Bolly, a nice ball, trying to release Neto. Neto just beaten to it by Dan, by the expense of a throw.
Yeah, he couldn't take any risk there, could he, Scott Dan?
So Moutinho is going to come on. He's stripped and ready. He came on for Neves at the weekend. I'm not sure I'd make that change today.
No, I think Neves played really well. His passing's been absolutely excellent, hasn't it? So the way that he's spread the ball around.
I think that's Scott Dan.
Yeah,
Dan has got a bit of a problem.
Yeah, when he's just made that interception there, I think he was holding something as he just turned.
Palace are preparing a change. Jordan Ayew back from missing the last couple of weeks after a positive test COVID. He is coming on for Andros Townsend.
Yeah, so more of a direct striker, isn't it, for a winger?
Number 10, Andros Townsend, is number 9, Jordan Ayew.
So Ayew is on. Traore stripped and ready to come on as well. But I don't think Wolves going to make their changes just yet.
Yeah.
Maybe Podence and Neto off. Go with
I don't.
Traore and Jimenez up top.
Well, I think that Neves has played really well.
Here's Kilman. 72 minutes played. Still Wolves lead by 2-0. Both goals in the first half. Yeah, you are hearing that right. Here's Cody. Another unbelievable pass out to Semedo. Podence, good first-time ball. Neto, right-hand side of the penalty area. Trying to take on his right foot. Blocked off by Dan. Wolves corner.
Yeah, he's just worked all night, hasn't it? A diagonal ball out wide, either from Neves or Connor Cody.
I mean, you could make a highlight reel of Connor Cody passes alone tonight, and it would probably exceed the allowance we're allowed to put out on our channels from the Premier League. Unbelievable performance from him. Neto's corner, left-footed from the right-hand side. Looking to whip it in towards the danger zone. The goalkeeper comes and punches. Neves back out to Podence on the right. Podence back onto his left foot, now onto his right again for Neto. Back to Neves, will take one touch and whip a dangerous ball in. Jimenez missed it. Oh, and so did
what a ball.
Kilman flying in at the far post. It's going to be a corner as well. There was a little deflection on it that maybe just took it away from Jimenez. The two Wolves players went flying in and neither could get a final touch to it.
Well, we've got three players there. We've got Bolly as well. Yeah, still the deflection. The lad who's just closing it. Jimenez and Kilman coming in.
Oh, Kilman was probably closer than any of them. Never scored for Wolves, Max Kilman.
It was a great ball in. Great ball. Great area to put it. The pace just curling. Keeper couldn't do anything about it. Just needed some kind of contact.
Having stood firm in the early part of the second half, Wolves maybe sensing they could get a third. Neto left-footed from the left-hand side, whipped in. It hit Max Kilman. Dendoncker tries to get it. I think that hit Kilman again.
Yeah, he did. He just rebounded off him.
Chases out to the right-hand side. What a brilliant reverse ball by Kilman. Dendoncker's left-footed cross. It was over the top of Bolly. Comes out to Aït-Nouri. Back to Daniel Podence, just on the left-hand side. Infield to Neves in the middle of the half. Neves lifting it in. Oh, it was just too high for Dendoncker, who'd made a very clever run.
Well, you could see him pointing where he wanted it from Neves, and he's near enough put it in there. Just a little fraction too high.
So it is Neto who's coming off for João Moutinho.
Another good game as well, Neto.
And Daniel Podence is coming off for Adama Traore.
Yeah, so just sacrificing one of the more forward players for Moutinho coming on there.
Well, Traore can do as much running for two players as one.
But they've still got Dendoncker, then probably releasing him a little bit more to go forward. Dendoncker, because he's tried it on numerous occasions tonight.
So Neves will stay holding. Maybe drop a touch deeper with Moutinho and Dendoncker just ahead of him.
Yeah. Moutinho and Neves, aren't they? Yeah.
That's 15 minutes, Tomo. Semedo intercepting inside his own half. Infield to Neves. Clever pass forwards to Jimenez, who first time trying to release Traore. A little bit less on it and he would have been in.
Well, it's out of a race that Scott Dan wanted to be involved in, was it? When he saw the ball just being flicked on, he was fortunate that he just carried through to the keeper. Because I don't think he's keeping up with Traore.
Kouyaté for Dan. 14 minutes to play, plus time added on at Molineux. Still Wolves 2, Crystal Palace 0. Eze on halfway, trying to turn away from Dendoncker. Up to Sahar. Neves again got a foot in. Ball bounced off Bolly. Eze back to Dan. Riedewald. Fighting Kouyaté to bring it forwards. Plays it wide to Klein, just on the halfway line. Martinho faced him up. Goes back to Kouyaté. Scott down at the base of the centre circle. The left-hand side to Milivojevic. Closed down by Traore. Infield to Riedewald. Just got away from Jimenez. He finds Eze. Down the line, down the left-hand side for Van Aanholt. Whips it into the near post and it flashes all the way through the penalty area. There was a touch on it.
I don't know if it was off a Wolves player or Palace player.
Jordan Ayew with a low cross in and excellent defending by Connor Cody. Martinho got it clear. And then Jimenez and Milivojevic have collided. It will be a free kick to Palace, but both men have ended up on the floor.
Yeah, I think it's more of an accidental clash than anything, I think.
I think both will need a bit of treatment here.
But again, good ball in.
This gives us a chance to see the replay on this Van Aanholt cross.
Yeah, Connor Cody, I think.
He was marshalling Michy Batshuayi.
Yeah, he did enough, didn't he? Just to block him off.
And then in came Jimenez, who I just don't think he could stop himself.
No. Where the touch went. Yeah, he's just watching his face there as well. I don't think he got out the way, could he?
Both men are up on their feet. Don't forget, at Mikey Burrows, at Wolves on social media. Use the hashtag Wolves Live. Your thoughts on how it's gone in this second half. Can Wolves see this job through now?
Yeah, similar position where they had a free kick earlier on, about 30 yards out, pretty central.
Yeah, Milivojevic hit that one that went just over the top of the crossbar.
Van Aanholt is going to probably have a shot here. Again, the wall, that'll be one of the things that they're looking at.
The wall is just inside the D, so it's just about a yard further away. Van Aanholt left-footed over the wall, a long way over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, more comfortable, wasn't it, for Patricio? Well, we've got, what is it, 11 minutes or so left.
That was a lovely wall blocking the route to the near post there.
Well constructed.
It's tremendous work. Don't mind if people make mistakes. You have to learn from them. That's what happens in football. Wolves learned the hard way on Sunday. Scott down under pressure from Traore over the halfway line. Bolly ahead of Zaha. Eze. Milivojevic just to the left of the centre circle on halfway. Closed down by Martinho. Van Aanholt.
Oh,
Dan just found Kouyaté, who just evaded Dendoncker to get it to Van Aanholt. Wolves have had less than 40% possession second half so far. But they are holding firm. And that's what matters.
Yeah, but you don't give them too much invitation about keep coming on to you. Because they've got quality, Crystal Palace, as we've seen in that first half.
Van Aanholt trying to get it forwards to Zaha, who lost the battle to Bolly. Eze just got a block on Neves. Cody there ahead of Batshuayi. Back to Patricio, who clears it left-footed. Traore trying to get a flick on. Jimenez couldn't get close enough to him. Klein finding Milivojevic. 9.5 minutes to go. It's not going to be easy listening at this stage. Although Riedewald's misplaced pass will give Wolves a throw.
Yeah, but good pressure from Wolves. Getting the mistake out of him.
Just about 9 minutes plus time to be added on. Looking at our post-game show, you'll be able to see on Wolves TV, Matchday Live Extra, Carl Ikeme, Chris Iwelumo, maybe one or two others to come. Kouyaté just away from Jimenez on halfway. Neves went flying in. Good game Ruben Neves has had tonight.
He has had a good game. His passing's been good, isn't it?
He's just been turned by Eze there, though. Sahar miscontrolled. Kilman was at his back.
Well, they got Traore in the game yet. I don't think he's touched the ball.
He just got a flick on, and that's about it.
Yeah.
His contribution so far.
It shows you the dominance what Crystal Palace have had with the ball so far. That we haven't been able to get him in.
Palace going to make another change. Christian Benteke is stripped and ready. I say he scored an actually really good goal in the under-23s game on Monday at Selhurst Park.
Let's hope that he's wasted his goal scoring on that then.
Dan for Eze. Good foot in by Dendoncker. Goes backwards to Scott Dan. In towards the centre circle, and Moutinho thought he could win it. Dendoncker has done. Early one up to Jimenez. Jimenez looking to try and run towards the edge of the penalty area. Onto Traore. One touch. Traore striking. Goalkeeper parries it down, and Jimenez was too close to try and benefit. And Palace have ended up getting a free kick inside their own penalty area. Another chance maybe to extend the lead goes begging here.
Well, I think that's just shows you about game time with Traore. A little bit sharper Traore scored in the off.
Oh, now then, Milivojevic could be in trouble here for his challenge on Moutinho in the build-up to that move.
Well, studs were showing, weren't they? Oof.
Benteke is coming on for Batshuayi.
I just thought he could have just had his touch and hit it a little bit sharper. He's just hesitated a little bit, didn't he? Yeah. Oof. Not a great challenge.
Moutinho getting a bit of treatment here, and he looked like he was in real pain.
Just watching it again. Oof, I'll tell you what.
I think Milivojevic gets the ball, but it's the follow-through that goes through the ankle of João Moutinho.
Yeah, because it's planted as well, isn't it?
I don't think there's any malice involved.
No, but say this is going to be sore for Moutinho.
There's no suggestion that there's any kind of official VAR check going on. Certainly not on the screens in front of us anyway, or on the big screens in the stadium. But real concern for João Moutinho. Wolves medical team, Dr. Matt Perry and first team physio Ollie Leaper out there working with him. Harun Otazawi on the substitutes bench is going back out to warm up. Has been playing in a similar role for the under-23s this season, Harun Otazawi. Would be a Premier League debut.
Yeah, Almighty brings size on.
Milivojevic, he definitely gets the ball first.
Yeah,
it's just the follow-through that catches Moutinho.
On his ankle.
Real sore. He's sitting up at the minute. Now I think we are getting an official VAR check. Checking the possible red card here.
It's the studs up, that's the problem. Oof, it's not.
It's on his standing leg as well.
Yeah.
That's what the concern is for João
It's a planted
Moutinho.
one.
It's high, it's above the boot. What's your initial view here, Tomo?
I can see what you're saying. But so like it's
Martin Atkinson's going to come and look for himself at the screen.
It's the studs up. What's the concern for me? He's got the studs up as he's coming through with it. That would be my problem with it.
Martin Atkinson making the walk down to the screen, which is in position just to the side of the Wolves dugout. And he'll get a view of it. Some of the views that we've had. You can see him getting the replays now from the behind angle at normal speed and then a few slowed down. What's his decision going to be?
It's his studs up. It's the problem. It's not on the floor.
He's wandering away from the screen now. Going past Scott Dan. Everyone looking towards him.
He's sending
making
him off.
the VAR signal.
I think he's sending him off.
Yeah, red card is coming for Luka Milivojevic.
Decision, red card, serious foul play.
Gets a pat on the hand from Ruben Neves. Crystal Palace are down to 10 men.
Yeah.
As they try and fight back in this game.
It's the studs up. That's the concern for it. I don't think there's any malice in it, but like you say, the follow through, but it's the foot off the floor is the concern.
Jean Moutinho is up and looks to be okay on the side of the pitch, though he's getting involved in. He chats with the Palace bench down there. That's Ray Lewington.
It's his fault. It's his fault that he got kicked.
So Crystal Palace are down to 10. And Wolves lead by 2-0 with just over 3 minutes left to play, plus what will be a reasonably significant amount of added time now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an opportunity now, isn't there? Try and get that ball back. They've got an extra man. Can they use it?
All still temporarily down to 10 as Moutinho's not yet come back on the field. He will be allowed on now, but he's limping rather heavily.
Like I say, he was just on his ankle. I'll tell you what, he's fortunate. He's still hobbling, isn't he? I don't know if he'll last. I know he won't want to come off, but it was a hefty challenge on him.
Wolves do have one more sub left if needed. And I think the call is Fabio Silva who's racing back.
Yeah, looks like he's the one getting stripped.
So I think Moutinho must have given them the heads up that he's okay. Eze. Klein, infield to Jordan Ayew, back into his own half to Scott Dan, under pressure from Traore. Manages to find Nathaniel Klein. Eze, Sahar down the right-hand side. Benteke in the penalty area will be his target. Cross took a deflection, then went behind Benteke, and Semedo will try and run it out to this right-hand side and feed it down the line. It came off Van Aanholt for a Wolves throw.
Yeah, you're right.
Fabio Silva
coming on.
is stripped and ready. Raced back.
You think for Jimenez?
Maybe. Kilman. He's not been involved since West Ham away. Fabio Silva, a new sub in the last 3 games.
Well, he's moving a little bit better than Moutinho.
Moutinho trying to flick the ball in field. It came off the head of Jordan Ayew. Kouyaté. Moutinho wins it back. Dendoncker in the centre circle to Aït-Nouri on the left-hand side. He's had a very impressive debut, including that opening goal. But his work at either end has been pretty decent. Here's Neves. Semedo's in space on the right-hand side. Neves will find him. Dendonker's gone running on the underlap. Semedo running infield, finding Neves. Wide for Dendoncker. Back infield to Neves in the middle of the Palace half. To his left-hand side to Moutinho. Swept first time out to Aït-Nouri. Now Moutinho again. Back to Cody in the centre circle for Kilman. Aït-Nouri, middle of the half. Looking infield, finding Ruben Neves, just out of the centre circle, turning and drilling it low out to the right-hand side to Semedo. Into the feet of Traore, who's allowed to turn and head towards the edge of the box. Ball came backwards. Neves poked it wide for Semedo again. Semedo trying to overpass to Moutinho, and Eze read it and got back there. Finds Sahara over the halfway line. Bolly closing him down. Eze trying to get away from Dendoncker. Palace will get the free kick. 90 minutes is up.
Like I said, there'll be quite a bit of injury time, I think. The delay. Yeah, Jimenez coming off.
It is Raul Jimenez who will be replaced by Fabio Silva. So Jimenez's wait for a goal against Crystal Palace continues.
Yeah, he's worked hard up there, hasn't he? He's just hasn't got that goal. He's had a couple of half opportunities, hasn't he, where he's just probably wanted a little bit too much time in there.
4 minutes being added on, by the way. Four minutes to see this job through against 10-man Crystal Palace. Sahar, back to Van Aanholt. 15 yards inside the Wolves half. 5 in from the left-hand touchline. Standing it up towards the edge of the box. Benteke's header actually went backwards. Jordan Ayew got to the loose ball. Trying to hold off Ruben Neves. Plays it wide for Wilfried Sahar. Right-footed cross from the left-hand side. Aït-Nouri diving on the edge of the box to head the ball clear. Only as far as Eze. Now to Nathaniel Klein. He'll stand it forwards again. Cody got a shout just to nod it down for Aït-Nouri. Tries to lift it forwards. Now will be a Wolves throw.
Yeah. So you're hoping they get one opportunity left in this injury time.
Big hello to Emma, loving it all the way up in Aberdeenshire. To Matthew, enjoying the courage from Timor-Leste. One more Wolves goal to come. There's Neves. Bolly. Kilman. Martinho up towards halfway. Dendoncker going deep inside the Palace half, out to the right-hand side to Semedo. Semedo back infield to Martinho, who now works it infield to Neves, 30 yards from goal. Neves tried to work it through to Semedo again. It was a sliding challenge from Jordan Ayew. Ayew trying to hold it in. Semedo's taking it from him though, and he's got Martinho in support on that right-hand side. Into Fabio Silva on the edge of the box, back to Traore. Traore held up by Riedewald. Dendoncker gets there. Neves to the left-hand side to Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri trying to run at Klein. Feeds a low cross in, and Guaita got there just ahead of Adama Traore.
Well, it would just been a tap in for Traore if he'd just got there, and he just watching it again. Aït-Nouri down that left-hand side. Yeah, it's comfortable for the keeper, to be fair.
About 3 minutes of the 4 that was being added on have been played. Wolves can't breathe too easily just yet. Benteke battling with Cody. Kilman and Bolly got in each other's way.
Rather have 2 there than none.
There's Neves for Aït-Nouri. Into Martinho, turning, looking to his right-hand side. Dendoncker can bring it over the halfway line. Traore through the middle. Fabio Silva left. It goes right to Semedo. Semedo to Traore. Traore still inside the penalty area. Took a little bit of a tumble. Gets a cross in that flashes across the face of goal and behind for a goal kick. Even Nuno applauds that he managed to get an effort in there.
Well, I think the keeper's laughing as well. He's thinking he's never going to do it. He's on the floor, isn't he? Oh, it's a great ball across in the end.
We are pretty much at the end of the minimum of 4 being added on here. Added time of added time. A look at the watch from Martin Atkinson. And Scott Dan has possession.
There you go.
Whistle to his lips. Wolves with an impressive 2-0 victory here tonight. Kicking off the weekend in a spectacular fashion. A goal on his debut from Ryan Aït-Nouri. A second goal in a Wolves shirt for Daniel Podence. Some VAR potential controversies in amongst it. Palace thought they should have had 2 penalties. One was overturned, one wasn't given at all. Luka Milivojevic saw red from a VAR decision too. Wolves had good chances in both halves. They defended well. They've got a clean sheet. They've won the game. And they go joint top for a short time at least of the Premier League. What a start to the season it's turning out to be.
It has. So like we've had them 2 games that, especially the West Ham one, where we went playing really well. But I thought more convincing performance, especially in the first half, getting the 2 goals. Again, it's a rarity us scoring in the first half and not scoring in the second, but it's still a victory, and they'll be pleased with that going into the weekend. What
really stood out for you tonight, Tomo? Who really impressed you?
I thought Neves played really well. Connor Cody passing it from the back as well. Neto had a good first half. I thought he played well in there. But so you look, and Nori there just getting his goal. But look, he looked very comfortable out there. But some good plays, good performances from the team. Semedo looked lively as well. That first half especially, with some great deliveries in there. So look, they'll go into the next week thinking they played really well with the performances. And the manager will be happy. Another clean sheet as well.
Another clean sheet. Wolves' last 9 Premier League victories have all seen a clean sheet with them. Wolves continue on. Best start to a top flight season since the 1970s continues. Wolves are joint top of the Premier League after 7 games with the weekend to come. We'll get your reaction from Carl Ikeme, Chris Iwelumo, Andy Thompson, and potentially more Do not go anywhere. This is Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV, powered by Blythe Group. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app. Wolves TV Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
This season, the Old Gold Club and Wolves TV Matchday Live are powered by Blythe Group, an industry-leading construction company and family-run business since 1982, driving investment and infrastructure across the UK. Blythe Group's mission is to provide an unrivaled service based on innovative, bespoke building solutions and comprehensive customer support. If you're a skilled tradesperson and you want to join the team that powers our team, contact their bases in Wolverhampton, Manchester or Maidenhead via theblythegroup.co.uk. Blythe Group, big enough to deliver, small enough to care.
The Old Gold Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molineux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Julian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from England, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Gold Club, My Golden Game, powered by Blythe Group, available now.
TV Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
So full time here at Molineux, Wolves winning by 2-0. A debut goal for Ryan Aït-Nouri and one for Daniel Pedence. And unusually for Wolves, all the scoring was done in the first half. There were some tricky moments in that second half, and we'll come to some of the more individual details in it. But a view of the game overall, Carl Ikeme.
Yeah, really good performance by Wolves. Undoubtedly, he was going to come under some sort of pressure in the second half. Palace were always going to come out. But I was really impressed with how we dealt with them, after half time. We kind of shut up shop and looked threatening as well at times. And just a really impressive first half performance. Really energetic, crisp passing, getting balls into the box and creating chances. That's what we wanted at the start of the game. We wanted more chances created by Wolves, and they've done that.
I think if Nuno looks at that, it's the perfect game, isn't it? You know, I think the first half dominant, you've got your goals, and then the second half it's more. And Keane's just spot on there. We shut up shop. We know that we can defend, but we were still a threat, and it's like one of them. Once you've got 2 goals, I know it is a dangerous scoreline, which we've already kind of highlighted, but defensively they were sound, and again they had bodies going forward. There was a lot of performances, individual performances that were outstanding tonight, but as a team, it was Nuno. He can't pick many negatives out of that one, Mikey. No chance.
I think just to butt him on what Chris was saying as well, to have the confidence to shut up shop as well, and to know that we're going to be hard to beat. Obviously, Palace was always going to come into the game in the second half, but they never really threatened our goal too much as well. So I think to have the confidence to do that, to know that we can still score on the break, is massive for Wolves. And I think that's been taken from the games before, where they've shut up shop as well and defended well. They're confident in their defending and knowing that they can close the game out.
It shows the importance of starting well. Sorry, Mike, I've cut you off a couple of times there, but it shows the importance. You know, Wolves, we've always known that we get stronger in the second half. Why? You know what I mean? If we can start games like that, and like you say, we're clinical on the day, it makes the game easier. It means then that we can fall into our own kind of game plan, be hard to break down and play quick counter-attack football, which we are very effective in doing. But the first half is so important, and it sets the stall out for the rest of the game. And like you say, against Newcastle, we weren't quite at it. We weren't quite creative. We never had that energy with and without the ball, you know. But the players themselves, you can see they know exactly what they're doing, the responsibilities. The first half was outstanding, and then obviously second half, we've seen what we've seen.
2 big VAR decisions second half. We talked at half time about the ones that had gone for Wolves. The penalty, or the penalty that may have been. You boys disagreed at half time on the first half one. What's your view on the one in the second half? Did Wolves get away with it?
Yeah, penalty kick, 100%. 100% penalty kick. Nori hits Zaha's foot, and it's Zaha's foot that actually thingies the ball away. So I don't know what's going on at Stockley Park. Maybe he's I don't know. I'm looking at it thinking it's a penalty kick. It's a penalty kick. There's Zaha's running into 2-3 players. Nori's he's winning, he's challenged, and it's the only way that he can think that he's made contact with the ball, but he's took the outside of Zaha's foot, and it's Zaha that's actually played the ball away. So what's going on?
Yeah, I think we was lucky to get away with the second one. I didn't think the first one was a penalty, but I think we was a tad fortunate. He's one of them. I think in the nowadays games, if you say I've seen them given, they normally get given, and I think that was one of them. I've seen them given, and they always get given. And I think we were lucky to get away with that. I think maybe Tomo was at Stockley Park.
If that wasn't Zaha, that's a penalty kick.
Is that what you think?
That's exactly because and it's one of those, and that's a disappointing thing.
Yeah.
You have to look at every case, every scenario with new eyes. It doesn't matter what player's involved, but you look at that, and you know what? He's running into bodies. I'm trying to think: is he in control of the ball? Yes, he is in control of the ball. He's challenged, and there's no malice, no intent there. And it's just one of them. Did he make contact with the ball? I'm saying that it was the outside of Zaha's foot, and it's Zaha then that's made the ball go in the direction it went.
Okay, I think we're all pretty much agreed then, or maybe not Tomo, that we got a little bit fortunate.
I think there was contact there. I think we were very lucky to get away with it because I thought there was contact coming in from the side on him. So look, I'm fortunate on that one. Kind of agree with Carl on the first one in the first half. But there was definite contact on that one.
Okay, we will continue this discussion about VAR in a minute because I think we've got a special guest joining us down in the tunnel area. We are connecting up to Player Cam, and there is Jack, our media man, handing it to Ruben Neves.
Hello.
Ruben, great to have you with us on Matchday Live Extra. Congratulations, a very impressive team performance tonight.
Yeah, great game for us. I think we deserve it after the draw against Newcastle. That take us a little bit down because we did a great game as well. I think we deserve this win and this game. We played really well, controlled the game, and really happy with the 3 points.
Ruben, was that Nuno's job? Was it to make sure that we started well in that first half, or was that planned, or was it just something that happened?
Well, we always try to start strong. I think we did it in the last game against Newcastle. We started really strong, playing really well. Today again, we went to the game with that goal to try to keep Crystal Palace away from our goal because they have really good players up front. So that was our plan for today, and I think we did it really well, mainly on the first half. Of course, on the second one, they tried to play a little bit more. They needed to score, but I think even on that part of the game, we controlled it well.
Ruben, how much of a responsibility, I think what you do with the ball, you make us tick, you are the engine, your range of passing, but you also, the energy, getting up to the edge of the box and how, Nuno, does he give you a responsibility to try and get forward? Is it just mainly to sit in that midfield and try and dominate the ball?
Well, it's all about our plan, I think. We train during the week for every game, and I think my job is helping the team as much as I can. So I'm really happy for the game we did today. I think everyone with a lot of energy, control well the game, having a lot of time with the ball. So I think we are glad to win this game because, like I said, it's really important for us the 3 points at home today.
Congratulations, Ruben. Just looking at the first half, we've seen that especially from the wide areas, there was a constant threat of putting the ball in the box. Was that a plan at the start of the game, or is that something you've been working on throughout the week? Because in the other games we've seen sort of build up play, but not really putting the ball in the box as much.
Yeah, that's where we talk during the week. We need to stress the opponent, and I think with that kind of crosses, we have players with a lot of quality to cross the ball into the area, and if we can achieve the area, the midfielders as well, to put more people in the box. I think we can stress the opponent and take them confidence. Because even if we don't win the ball in the cross, we can always win the second ball and keep the ball in front. So I think we've been working a lot on improving our game, and this is just a part of it.
Ruben, you talk about moving the ball out wide and controlling the midfield. I mean, it felt like you and Connor Cody were having a competition out there for who could hit the most perfect passes to either right or left. It was incredible at times.
No, that's as well because of our opponent. They were trying to close the middle because they know we have really good players in the middle, coming from the wide areas to the middle, like Neto, like Prudence. So they try to close the middle, and we need to find spaces. We need to find spaces on the wide areas because our fullbacks were always free to play. So we use that passes to open the game and try to create spaces for us.
I mean, there must have been about 40 between you, though. It was incredible at times. The accuracy of it tonight was just stunning.
Yeah, we train for that. We always try to help the team, and today it was a game to do that. And like we did, if we did it well, we knew we can create a lot of space in Crystal Palace team. So we are really happy to help the team with that passes because it came really well for us.
Quick word on the wing backs. Ryan, obviously, with a big moment on his debut. You know Nelson pretty well, having played with him at Portugal. How well are those two working in there?
Well, it was amazing seeing Nelson coming again to his best with a lot of confidence with the ball. He's a fantastic player, and he shows already what he can give us. I think today he already show what he is and what he can help us in the future. About Ryan, is a fantastic player as well with a lot of talent. We tried to help him a lot as well because it was his debut, and we are really proud of him because he did a great game with a goal as well that will help us a lot. We're really happy for him and hope he keeps working like this because he's a great player.
And just finally, 13 points from the first 7. It's a very good start, but I think even you guys in that dressing room will look at it and think that there is still more to come from you.
Of course, yes. It's our philosophy since the beginning, since I came here. Think game by game. Don't look too much for the table because we know if we do our job every single game, we'll get up there with the big team. So that's our job. That's our goal. Thinking game by game, and we'll try to keep on doing that.
Well, congratulations. Superb performance again from you tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah. See you guys.
Neves on Matchday Live Extra. He was brilliant again, boys, wasn't he, really? I mean, he got pretty much our man of the match on Sunday. It's going to be a tough one to choose tonight, but he's right up there again for me, Looms.
Yeah, he is. You know, like you say, he's engine room. He gets on the ball. He makes his tick. No, impressive, and it's just one of them. You know, I think it's so complimentary about the players around them as well because tonight everyone worked hard, everyone got to those levels, and that's what we want to see. It's so important the next couple of games. I'm just looking at it now. You know, what Leicester away and Southampton at home. Those 2 games are massive. And I know it's just one game at a time, but we can go and get maximum points, you know, in the form that we're in. You know, it's just, I don't want to kind of dream, but it's good.
Listen, yeah, we know that you love this.
I do, mate. You know.
Think, Carl Ikeme didn't give Ruben Neves his man of the match on Sunday, and he was itching to get in there ahead of Looms. What did you make of Neves tonight? Is he up there for you this time?
Yeah, I was just about to say he was my man in the match tonight. I thought he was brilliant. I think he's been brilliant since he's come back into the side. Like I said, his range of passing, he's dictating things for us in the middle. His energy going forward, getting back. He's ratting around their centre midfielders, winning interceptions. He's been brilliant. Been brilliant since he's been back in. He's really good tonight. His range of passing, and that's what you want from your central midfielder to take the game by the scruff of the neck. And he was dictating things there tonight. And I think he was the best player on the pitch by far, in my opinion.
Wow. Because there were some good performances there, weren't there, across the board, really?
Yeah, there's some great performances. I just felt that he dictated things in the first half, and I felt that everything went through him. I know Pedence Neto was brilliant, but it was because Neves kept on getting the ball and getting Semedo in wide, kept on giving diagonals, playing them nice balls into them. I felt like he really made us tick tonight, and I think the energy that it gives. And you've got to look at second half. I'm not saying we was deeply under the cosh, but we were defending, and he was at the heart of that as well. I think his energy was fantastic, and like I said, I think he's been really good since he's been back in. He's really cemented his place in the team. I think with Moutinho and then Dunker and Neves sort of seem to be sort of mixing who will come in. I think Neves has firmly made that place his at the minute, and I think he's going to be hard to move.
Agree with that, Tomo?
Yeah, I do. So, look, you can see the quality that he's got, that he's always available for the ball. That's the thing for me. So he always seems to be on for anybody to pass the ball to him, but he's willing to accept it in tight areas. And that's the quality of a player that he is. So, look, and again, there's no doubt about the range of passing that he's got, the accuracy of the passing. We saw it again, evidence tonight about him and Conor Cody, as you said there, in a little bit of competition, but he's a quality player. He gets around the pitch. And what I like as well, he's starting to get a little bit more advanced at times, switching around with Dendoncker, getting a little bit higher up there. He had a couple of shots this evening again, but his work overall throughout the game has been unbelievable. So, look, I think that he's starting to mature as a player as well. I think that he's starting to improve because he's still a young lad. So was he 23, 24, something like that? So he's still a young lad, but so he's a quality player to be watched.
I think that's what I feel from today. I think it's maturity in the performance, and we can look at the first half and where we were getting down the wings, and obviously there was great goals as well and great play at times. But you have to look at the other side of the game, and he was doing that as well. And I think with Codes, Bally, Neves is starting to become that figure at Wolves, and I think he can be really important. I know he's young to say he's an experienced member of the squad, but he's got experience in games, and he can dictate big things. And I think big games, he can dictate things for Wolves. And I think you're kind of seeing that. I think Tomo used the right word, maturity, his performance, and I think that's why I was so impressed with him tonight.
Chris Iwelumo, talk me through Ryan Aït-Nouri, 19 years of age. The ball comes to him left-hand side. That is a sweet strike and a difficult strike to do.
As you know, he decided very early that he's going to take the shot on, didn't he? And he struck it into the ground, and just to get that accuracy on it as well, it was a fantastic finish. But again, he broke his neck to kind of get there. He arrived a little bit late. The ball was perfect. Took a little touch, but to get the connection that he did everything right. You know, got round the ball, hit it into the floor, and made it very, very difficult. It was a fantastic finish.
He was impressive, wasn't he? For a debut performance, obviously still a way to go, and there'll be other tests to come. But looked like a decent addition there.
Yeah, he did.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Looms. Yeah, I thought he was good. I think he'll get better as well. You could see he's still he's a young kid. He's still a bit shy. You can tell that on the ball with his body language and that, and he'll just grow. I'm sure that goal is going to do wonders for his confidence, and he'll start to relax a little bit more, attack a little bit more. You could just tell he was trying to feel his way through the game, and he done really well. And I'm sure he'll go on to even better performances for Wolves.
Yeah, he grew into the game for me. So, his first few touches, he was making sure that he found that pass. He made sure that he found his play with the pass. But as the game went on, he started to grow into it. He started to get forward and he got the goal. Great strike. It's just kicked up nice for him. And but the keeper had no chance. But he did. He definitely started to improve for it as the game went on. And it just shows you, again, the quality that we're starting to bring into the side as well.
We started talking about VAR before Ruben Neves joined us. So we've gone through the penalty decision. The sending off, thoughts on that? Did they get that right?
It's a difficult one. It's just because it was a genuine attempt for the ball, wasn't it? But as Tomo said, he showed studs. And I think by the letter of the law as well, it doesn't matter about the contact of the ball. He has followed through as well. And like you say, I think Matino is very lucky that his foot wasn't really planted because it came off the ground. But that's a leg breaker there. So I think that's something that Martin Atkinson takes into consideration there.
Yeah, for me as well. So I think like I said, he's going for the challenge. He's going for the ball. I don't think there's any malice in it, but it's when his foot comes up and you saw the replay, and that's what he did, come over and watch. He saw the replay and he's gone over on his ankle. He's fortunate to come back on, Matinho, for me. I thought that it did look like it was a leg breaker when he's gone for the challenge, but I don't think he meant it. But it's just the momentum when he's actually gone in for the tackle that's took him through on it. And look, say, if you're going with your foot raised, you're going to get that kind of decision from the referee.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we come through from a different era of football where that would maybe be deemed as a good tackle. But when you've got players like Martino and other players all across the Premier League, and there's an opportunity that might break his leg, then you do have to stop them sort of challenges. I don't think he meant it, and there's no malice in it whatsoever. And he'll be disappointed that he's been sent off for it, and Palace will be disappointed about the decision. But I think as football's moved on, and we don't really want to see players like Martino, Neves, Traore, whoever it is, Van Dijk, out for a long periods of time. So I think that's why them tackles have been cut out. No fault of the Palace player whatsoever. I think he had to go for the ball. He got stitched up really with the ball as well, let's be honest. But I think Mark and Axton had to make that decision.
But it just shows you, okay, initially the referee didn't give anything, did he? I know he would probably give a foul, but initially he didn't get, because he thought it was a red straight away, he would stop the game. He would give him a red.
The replays always make it look a lot worse. Not worse for the contact, but a lot worse intentions. And we all know that there was no intention in it. It was just it could have been a nasty one for Martino, and we would have been hurt and upset that he would have been out, missed 4 weeks, 2 months, however long it would have been. So it was the right decision.
It was one of those strange ones because obviously all of our attention here, and I guess the TV's attention, came from then Wolves on the counter-attack, which I think ended with Raul Jimenez having options either side, and he went for goal. I read the stat out during the game, Chris Iwelumo, whereby he's really struggled against Crystal Palace for some reason. He clearly doesn't struggle very often. This is no criticism of Raul Jimenez whatsoever. Just Tomo mentioned in commentary about he seems to have a bit of a different role whereby he's allowed to drift into areas where he wants to go. Is that going to be conducive to him still being the focal point up top if he's going to keep going in different areas? And in that case, then, are they relying on the likes of Podence to start chipping in with more goals?
Well, I think that's what Nuno's thrown at all the players. He wants more goals coming from all over. I think obviously Jimenez is always going to be the point man, but yeah, I agree with Tomo. He has that freedom to float when he has to, but we've got the intelligence and the players around it that Podence can then go as the point man. I thought the rotation was excellent. You just sometimes have that. You have a team that you score regularly against. You have a team that you find it difficult to put the ball in the back of the net, but he's an out-and-out goal scorer. Jimenez, he does other jobs other than put the ball in the back of the net. He links up well. A lot goes through him. His hold-up plays excellent. And like you say, his movement and intelligence is brilliant as well. And the second half performance says that, because the likes of Jimenez, Pedence, and Neto, that's where the defending starts from. It starts from the front, and we sit in, we're compact, and everyone knows their roles. So I thought it was a perfect performance. Obviously, he wants to get his goal, and you can never take that away from him. If he's got an opportunity to get the shot away, if he's got a man to the right or left, I have no qualms with him at all about taking the shot. You know what I mean? I think that's what he loves to do. He probably doesn't feel, and you don't feel part of it. We've won tonight. There's 3 points on the board. There's been 2 goals scored. If he's not scored, you don't enjoy it the same. You know what I mean? Trust me, you don't enjoy it the same, Keem. Do you know this? You know this, mate.
Yeah. You're just different, aren't you? We love you, but you're just different.
You probably had teams that you struggled to score against. So, like, do you think he was frustrated tonight? Because he seemed to be trying that hard to try and get a shot away or keep the ball or chest it down, and it just didn't work for him.
You think about the first half, how dominant we were. Balls coming in the box. He had a couple of headers. Just things weren't falling for him. And sometimes that's just the way it happens. For whatever reason, it's Crystal Palace's his team. He'll put it right, and then he'll never look back. But the priority is 3 points on the board, and a good performance from a lot of the individuals. Good professional performance. So I don't think Nuno can pick many negatives out of it. Just maybe that the concentration levels sometimes where Palace can get in, but again, that's part and parcel of football.
I mean, you kind of mentioned, obviously, we've got, I think, one more game before the next international break. This little batch of matches. I kind of put it towards Ruben Neves there, Keems, because we all kind of knew the response that was going to come. This is not a group that are ever going to speak about being joint top at this stage. I know it's very early in the season, but all 3 of you know what the fans will be saying right now. You know what the fans will be feeling right now. And Looms is probably agreeing with them right now.
You're plugging this question right now.
Yeah, but I know, but right. So we talk about progression season in, season out, right? We've not got the distraction of the Europa League this year. We're tweaking the formation a little bit. There's that we're in a transitional period. There's new players come in. Some very important players have left the group who were very influential last season. So we're in a transitional period, right? We're not conceding goals. We're winning games. We're up to Leeds and got battered, but we still took away 3 points. We're learning to win and doing the like Keane said, the other side of the game. I know it's part and parcel playing counter-attack football, but we can shut up shop. We were so dominant in the first half. We were clinical, so so who's going to come? Like, you look at the results already this year. Aston Villa beating Liverpool, Leicester going and beating Man City. It is wide open. Everton getting beat by Southampton. It is wide open. But if you consistently make it a habit of winning games, if you're dominant with the ball or not, if you've got players like we do that have got quality and can put the ball in the back of the net, but also keep it out at the back, why the hell not? I know you're all doom and gloom, 1-0 and all that, mate. I know I'm waiting for this to come all out. But you know what? The fans have a right. They think, you know what? There's a possible chance. We're sitting up there for a reason. It's on merit, mate. It's not luck. It's not luck. It's on performances and hard graft and professionalism. And you know what? It is. So I love the fact, you know me, I see the best in everyone. I'm all, forever the optimist. My glass is always half full. So yeah, why not? Why not take that next step? Is it going to come too early? Yeah,
it's what it's half full of that's the issue sometimes. Let's be honest.
You know that, Mikey.
Leicester, though, next up, they go to Leeds on Monday night. There is a group of teams up there. Personally, I think it's great, Tomo, for the Premier League to have different teams in amongst it. Whatever people's thoughts are on the way that the restart and everything that's gone through it, this Premier League season is shaping up like no other. But Leicester, team that got off to an absolute flyer, we'll wait and see what they do on Monday. But that will be a real stern test of just where this Wolves team actually are.
Yeah, it just shows you the way that Leeds have started this season and how difficult they are to beat. And it just shows you about how good that performance was up at Leeds. Look, it's a tough league. So the big teams have lost some of the games as well. Man United losing as well to Tottenham. So look, it's anybody's at the moment. All you've got to do is take care of your own business. Go out there. If you can keep clean sheets, it's going to give you an opportunity to win games, and that's what we've done the majority of times this season already. Look, so look, we know we've got a good team. We know we've got a good manager. It's a shame the fans can't watch the games as well or be here at the games, but I'll be very surprised if we're not there or thereabouts at the end of the season, because this team is growing. There's players still finding the feet that they've brought into the team and into the club. And for me, we only can get it stronger. I think that the way that we do play, he knows what our strengths are. So like Connor Cody at the back line as well. Kilman's come in, done exceptionally well alongside Connor Cody and Bolly. But look, you just look at the goals tonight in that first half, the way that we played. We're a threat to anybody.
Carl Ikeme saved me here because these two are getting well carried on. I'm sure Tom just said that we're going to be thereabouts.
I'm a goalkeeper, so I'm always going to be a bit. I'm always going to look at things a little bit different, a bit cautiously. That was my job. But top four is going to be difficult. I think if it comes to Christmas and we're up there, then why not? But I can't disagree with what Loons and Tomo are saying at the same time. I do think the best is still yet to come. I still think there's more gears in us. I still think Pedence and Nettle will grow even more. Yeah. And I've been really impressed by Dendoncker and Neves so far. I think they've been brilliant this season. Semedo's looking better every game. Yeah. We're looking good. We're in a good place. There's going to be tougher tests to come. Let's be honest. Leicester's going to be one of them. But I do feel like we do rise to the tough test as well. So that's why I'm excited, I think, for what's to come this season. I'm not going to sit here and say that I think we'd be top four, because I'm not sure about that. I wasn't sure at the start of the season. I thought it might be a transition. But you know what, as Limba said, winning 1-0, 2-0, clean sheets, know we can shut up shop. It's massive, that is. Not conceding in this Premier League is so big. And when you confidently can say, do you know what, it's time to shut up shop, we feel like we can see out a game, then we're always going to have a chance to see out games as long as we can nick a goal. Yeah. And I'm not going to say we're top four, but I'm going to say I still think there's best to come, more to come from Wolves. Sorry, I can't get it worked out. I think there's more to come from Wolves.
Well, listen, we can understand, because we're coming towards the end of our programme here, and you know what's about to happen now. Somebody...
Please help. Please help.
Who was it? Somebody? Anybody?
I don't know if it was through choice, though, was it?
This guy.
Through choice.
This guy predicted it right again. Mikey 4, the pundits 0. Oh my word! How are you feeling, Carl Ikeme?
Yeah,
How are you feeling?
Yeah, devastated, mate. But as long as you're saying that we're winning, that's all that matters.
There you go.
I'm not sure what Chris Iwelumo's doing here, or whether we should
turn only got 3.
Whether we should turn his camera off, because I'm not sure whether he's trying to read between the lines or whatever there. But anyway, it was a good game, really impressive game. It's been a really good night. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in and watched us tonight. I hope you've really enjoyed our coverage from pre-game, when we had Jeff Thomas, Rob Edwards, Jack Price and Neil Emblem, Ruben Neves on with us after the game as well. And of course, these 3 legends too, Andy Thompson, Chris Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme. Thank you very much for being with us as ever. We are back, by the way, Wolves TV on Monday. The under-23s are back in action from Agborough in Kidderminster Monday afternoon. We'll bring you coverage of that game. Wolves against under-23s against Fulham. Make sure you tune in for that. And then all of us will be back for the game against Leicester, when hopefully we will continue on this charge. It is Halloween weekend. We should say well done to Tomo for keeping his mask on for the entire night as well.
That's poor, that is, Tomo.
Don't expect anything else.
You're too comfortable, Mikey. You're too comfortable.
Yeah, he's confident because he's won again, hasn't he?
Listen, Halloween weekend. Wolves provided plenty of tricks, and they've given us a real treat. Enjoy yourselves. See you soon.